Hello everyone and welcome back to another Wednesday night movie live stream. I'm here from the hot house, aka my kitchen. It is boiling here, 25 degrees, and I can't wait until it gets cooler. But as always, welcome back to another Wednesday night live stream where I'm joined as always by Andy from Forgotten World of Movies.
Big hello to everyone watching.
And Mike from Cinema Axeman.
Hi guys.
And tonight we've got our special guest. We've got Chris from Mancave Movies. So hey Chris, thanks for joining.
Hi gents, how's everybody doing? Nice to be here. Looking forward to it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Same.
Yeah.
Good.
Good. Yeah. As always, I'm really terrible tonight. I'm losing my words. It must be the heat. But anyway, as always, what was the last film? Well, some of the last films you watched over the past week. Do you want to go first, Andy?
Sure. Yeah. Okay. I went to see Jurassic World Dominion on Sunday, and yeah, that was something.
Did you like it or not?
I just came out like that is completely average for me. I didn't hate it, didn't love it. Just was like solid 6 out of 10. I liked it more than the last one, but I thought it was good. I probably thought the old cast were probably the best part about it.
I think that's why a lot of people want to go and see it, is because of the old cast.
Yeah. There's just too many things going on in that movie for it to work as a movie. There's just
it's 2.5 hours, isn't it?
Yeah.
Ooh.
I thought it was what it was. You know, it wasn't gonna. It's not gonna be best film of the year or anything like that. But
I think the moment they bring dinosaurs into the human world, like our world, that's when, you know, the last film for me was just like, it was nice. We, you know, teetered on it, but now we're like fully in it, and it's just you lose interest. It's nowhere near it's got the impact like the other ones have.
Yeah. I agree.
Yeah, but
there's supposed to be a new trilogy coming out, isn't there?
A new one? Oh god.
Oh wow.
No.
Can I ask you a question? You know, as like dinosaurs are involved in modern day life now in this film, do they do like drag racing with dinosaurs?
That would be spoiling it, Pete.
Oh dear.
Every dinosaur has its own Twitch stream.
Brilliant. What about you, Mike? What are some of the films you last watched?
Nothing really new, to be honest. I rewatched the Godfather films recently because I picked up the 4K of them. Nice. So that was, yeah, I love those movies. So yeah, that was great.
Nice. You've got it as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was a bit worried because when I watched Godfather 2 on Saturday or Sunday, and about 45 minutes into the movie, the disc it started skipping. And I was like, oh, shit. Like, I hope it's not broke because I don't want to have to send this huge box set back. But eventually it carried on working, thankfully, which is good.
Nice.
But yeah, so yeah, I've been watching them. I watched a movie today whilst I was working. I think you might have seen this, Andy. It was called Savage Streets with Linda Blair.
I love that film.
It's quite it's a
well one, but it's
a weird movie. Yeah.
The villain in it just looks like Fergal Sharkey. It's ridiculous, but it's a cool movie. I love it.
Yeah, it's kind of like a bad movie, but it's just so entertaining.
Yeah.
Awesome. And what about you, Chris? What are some of the films you last watched?
I've been watching some really obscure numbers over the last few days. I watched an amazing movie the other day. It's set in Norway called The Innocents, brand new, and the concept is just fantastic. You know, the idea of children having superpowers, but on such a small scale. Like, there's no like buildings blowing up and stuff. Like, the adults go around their normal day-to-day lives, but these kind of 4 best friends have these powers, and it's quite sinister. It's actually like a dark horror, and it really blew. It was one of the best things I've seen in a long time. So I watched that the other day. I also watched a horror movie that some people were telling me, I was on TikTok and looking through all these obscure horrors, and I watched something called Hell House LLC, which, oh my God, that movie is really good. I was very surprised that, I mean, I'm a big fan of found footage horror, and you've just got to get it right. And there was so many great moments in that film. So Hell House was another one. And then the final one that is kind of stayed with me for a while was a movie called Lake Mungo.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Jeez, oh man, that was just again one of those films, so simple, no kind of no special effects, no nothing, just all this kind of photo images, and it's just amazing what you can do in movies to really grab you and take you in the moment and have you engrossed with so little money and budget. And I was really impressed, especially when the fact that some of the footage was on like an old Nokia cell phone, and
Really?
it was really cool. Yeah, the way that they transferred it over. But yeah, just three really different movies, but really, really good.
Oh, that's cool. That's a great selection of movies. As for me, I haven't really watched much. Over the weekend, I watched, is it Above the Law, Nico Above the Law, the Seagal film. That was pretty enjoyable. I was surprised Sharon Stone was in that. And then I watched a Jean-Claude Van Damme film called Replicant.
Oh yeah.
What a film.
Yeah, that's
It's
underrated, that one,
it's
isn't it?
That's very odd. It's very odd. He was like, what's his name? Michael Rooker was treating like Jean-Claude Van Damme like a dog half the time, walking him around.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a pretty enjoyable film. I ain't really been watching many films lately because I've been playing this new game called The Quarry, and that's like really like inspired by old school 80s horror films, and it's brilliant. Been staying up till midnight most nights playing it. Right. Anyway, before we get on to the comments, as it's your first time on the stream, Chris, do you want to promote your channel to the people who are watching at home?
Yeah, so I've had the channel now for just over a month, Mancave Movies, and it's kind of like a 4K Blu-ray channel that kind of do some movie reviews. I'm on a 88 films stroke Arrow video collecting at the moment, and trying to do some really kind of cheap B movie horror reviews from years gone by, and just really trying to delve into them and find out the psyche behind them. And some of them you just got. I mean, Chill Factor was the last one that I reviewed, and it's just they're so bad, but they're so good. You have to see them once or twice to kind of realize they were actually made. So yeah, I've been doing the channel now for about a month, and yeah, I'm really enjoying it, loving the community, and just collecting and collecting. You know what it's like. So yeah, that's what it's been like.
Oh, sounds good. The link to Chris's channel is in the description below, so be sure to give him a sub.
Thank you.
Right, let's get on to the comments. We have quite a few comments. We have got the King of Collectibles saying, "Evening everyone, and hey Chris, thanks for joining
Hello.
King of Collectibles."
No.
We have Edward Coppock here saying, "Evening everyone, hope you're all well. Who picked up this week's big release, the Batman special edition? Did you get it?" Ooh.
I got the Italian version. I'd ordered it like a week ago, so I got the Italian one, the Steelbook, and it just arrived like yesterday. So I'm looking forward to watching it.
Ah, brilliant. Have you seen the film before?
I have. I really liked it. I mean, I'm a big Batman guy, so I really appreciated the kind of the dark. I mean, don't get me wrong. I went and seen it at the wrong time. I saw like a 10:30 p.m. showing, and it's such a dark movie, and it's you really got to concentrate. If you fall asleep, there's no chance you're picking that up again. So, but yeah, I've seen it twice now. I'm looking forward to seeing what the 4K is like.
Oh. Did you pick it up, Andy?
Yeah, I did. I picked up the HMV version with the art cards, but I've actually lent it to the guy I work with, so he hasn't seen it before. So I just said, yeah, you can borrow it. So he's currently watching it tonight, I think. So yeah.
Oh, that's cool. It's a nice set though.
Yeah, it's a gorgeous set. Yeah. I wasn't expecting it to be as good as it was.
And Yeah, how much was it? About 30 quid?
£30. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, that's not too bad.
yeah, I watched it Monday night as well, and yeah, I probably watched it while it was too light outside. You couldn't really see what was going on. But yeah, I'm probably going to give it a watch. Maybe probably in a couple of months' time when it gets a bit darker.
Sounds good.
Not
Sounds
too
good.
late. Yeah.
Yeah. And you, Mike?
No, I've not picked it up yet. I might wait until it goes a bit cheaper, just the regular 4K.
Oh, that's fair enough. I haven't picked it up either. I'll probably pick it up at the weekend and probably watch it over Saturday night. Right. We've got King of Collectibles saying, what's your favourite army film? Ooh,
Oh,
that's a good one.
I'm going to say Last Action Hero. Just for the sheer, it was so, for growing up, and it was a movie that everybody fanboyed over because you were seeing everything in it. And I think the moment you saw Sharon Stone from Basic Instinct, and then you saw T-1000 walk out and Sly Stallone, you know, advertised in the video shop, just little moments like that, you know, we hadn't seen much of that growing up. So it still stays with me. Even though the kid was terrible, I hated him so much growing up. He just didn't appreciate what he was doing, man. I hated him.
Yeah, that's a great film. Andy?
Mine is The Terminator, the first one.
Yeah.
There's
Fantastic
four top tier Arnie movies for me where I just think these movies are pretty much like immaculate, which is the first two Terminators, Predator and Total Recall. For me, I just like they're like top tier Schwarzenegger. But Terminator 1, I just love that film. I just love everything about it. It's a horror film in sheep's clothing. It's an amazing movie. I know everyone probably prefers the sequel. I think the sequel's great, but my favorite will always be the first one.
Yeah.
Just love the soundtrack to it, the music in it. It's the story. It's just great. Yeah.
He is absolutely relentless in the first one, isn't he?
Oh yeah. I just think Michael Bihn's like an underrated actor as well. Like he's so good in that movie.
Yeah.
I agree.
The nightclub scene as well. Like
Best scene.
It's so good. It's that music. Yeah.
I always love the police station one. I'll go and get my car, bring some car straight for the police station.
Yeah.
And you, Mike?
I mean, there's so many to choose. I mean, the Terminator movies, both of them are great. What's the other? I really like True Lies. I think that's a great movie. It's so much fun. And I like Conan the Barbarian, the first one. I think it kind of gets forgotten about quite a lot, but I think that I love that movie. And I like The Running Man. I think that's quite a good movie as well. I can't really pick like a number one. It's just one out of those movies, to be honest. And Predator, of course.
Yeah, I do agree. Like Terminators, Predators, so easy to pick. For me, I could say Terminator, but I'm going to say Commando. I watched it the other week and had an absolute blast with it. It's just so much fun. The one-liners are brilliant. It's just fantastic, and it's such a short film for like only about an hour and a half. It just works so well.
There's a scene in that movie that I have to watch it again to see it for real. There's a scene where I remember reading about it was they didn't have enough extras for one of the explosion scenes when they were doing the fights, and when you watch it back, there's cardboard cutouts of men with guns.
Yeah,
and when it blows up, they just blow down. They don't even like explode. They just blow over. And to this day, it's still one of the greatest things. I love it so much.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. Right. Next up, we have Soph here saying, "Evening, gents. If you could play any role in a film, what would it be and why?" Hope you well, Soph.
I think we know where this is going. It's got to be Matt Dillon in Wild Things, for obvious reasons.
Yeah.
Or Alfred Molina in Species.
Yeah, exact same reason.
Oh,
Yeah,
I don't know,
it was
man.
quite.
I'm going to say Keaton in the first Batman.
Yeah.
Just Basinger, man, back then was like, wow. So, and then of course I could maybe go Keaton in Returns because then I've got Michelle Pfeiffer. So
Yeah.
I'd probably just say Michael Keaton's catalogue of Batman movies. That would probably be what I'd go for.
Oh, great picks. Yeah, I do kind of agree with you there, Andy. Wild Things has a certain allure about the role, but I won't divulge into it.
That scene just comes out of nowhere. It's just like you just don't expect it, but
I thought it's just because you wanted to work with Kevin Bacon. That's another great reason, man.
Yeah. Kevin Bacon, Bill Murray. Yeah.
Saying thank you for all those lovely EE adverts. Next up, we have Mike from Did You See That? Hey, fellas, I hope you're all doing great. Thanks for joining, Mike. Hope you're well too.
Thank you.
We've got Matt H here saying, whose filmography do you prefer, Arnie's or Stallone's?
I'm going to say Stallone's for me. I mean the Rocky, anthology, every movie was just so integral of growing up. So it was just ingrained, especially the fourth one, which is one of them movies that I always say if it didn't have the soundtrack it had, it wouldn't be the movie that it was. It was just the most amazing soundtrack for Rocky 4 with Survivor and all that, and great songs. But I think as Stallone got older and Copland is one of my favorite films of all time. And just I just think Arnie's great, don't get me wrong, but I really want to see Arnie do a Copland, like do something really gritty drama. I know he's done some stuff, but with Stallone in that movie, it was just a total different side to him that I still remember to this day. It's the performance that, he was just phenomenal. So I'd say Stallone's.
Yep. Andy?
See, this is tough because I think the difference between the two of them, I think, is when they both make good movies. I think Arnie makes the better movies, but Stallone makes the better films. If that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because I think with Stallone, you've got like those hard hitting dramas like Rocky and First Blood and the Creed movies. But with Arnie, I think you can have a lot more fun with his top tier movies, whereas Stallone ones are they're very, very serious, but you do get the fun as well with movies, obviously like Cliffhanger and Daylight. They're good fun movies, but I don't know. I think I have a better time with Arnie, even though those movies are still great, but they're not as as grounded as Stallone's best work.
Yeah, I get that.
Yeah.
Mike?
Yeah, like Andy says, it is a bit of a tough one, but I'd probably have to go with Stallone just because I think for Arnie, for me, he only had maybe about 10 good years. I'd say from Conan the Barbarian to about True Lies. Like pretty much all the movies he made in that time, most of them are fantastic. And then after True Lies, I think his movies went really downhill. Whereas Stallone's kind of he's had ups and downs, but I think he's had a more sort of consistent sort of filmography, let's say. And he does have a lot of like really great dramas to his name, like Copland and Rocky. And all sorts really. But I think when Arnie's good, he's really, really good. So it is hard to say really, but I'd probably just give it to Stallone.
Yeah, I kind of do agree with you there. Arnie's a lot of fun. His films are a lot of fun, but there is a lot of not so good in his library of films. Stallone is the better actor, shall I say, with like Rambo and the Rocky films and the Creed films, and there's more quality, shall I say, in his catalogue of films than there is Arnie. Whilst they are fun, I'd say Stallone.
Yeah.
Right. We have Soph here saying Mancave Movies. I love your accent.
Thank you very much.
We've got Pete here, Blu-ray Bullet Brit, saying yo boys in it cold. I wish it was Pete. Soph saying Pete, how's it doing? We've got Brian Drums here saying yo, thanks for joining, Brian. Hope you are. Mike says, question: if you lads could erase one movie from existence, what would it be, and what would your reasons why?
Last Jedi, because it's shit.
Yes,
There you go.
that is a hard act to follow. That one is.
Oh no, I'd say Whedon's cut of Justice League for me.
Okay.
I think I came out of the movie. I went and seen it in America, and I came out crying. Just I'd never seen any. It was just the tone and the colors, and just the fact that I always remember saying this to my friends. I was like, the fact that Batman made about 5 or 6 jokes in the entire movie. Like he kept making all these jokes, and like it was always the kind of butt of the joke. And I'm like, this is Batman we're talking about here, man. This is like Ben Affleck was starting to kind of come up with something here after Dawn of Justice. But yeah, I hated that movie, and thank God for the Snyder Cut. So I would say Justice League.
Good pick. And Mike?
Probably a Good Day to Die Hard, like the last Die Hard movie. That was pretty bad.
Oh.
So, yeah, and the reason being it was just really shit.
Yeah. I'm probably going to say something like the Keith Lemon movie or Mrs. Brown's Boys movie. Oh, my days. An hour and a half to 2 hours, each of them films, I'm never going to get back. Ever.
Probably
watch.
Get rid of Dark Phoenix as well.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Jesus.
Oh, definitely.
And Last Stand.
Yeah.
Last Stand as well. I'd say, yeah.
What about X-Men Origins Wolverine?
Ooh.
See, that's awful, but it's funny.
Yeah.
I know. I kind of
like
do
Batman
enjoy it.
Yeah.
It's bad, but I like it.
Yeah.
Yeah. The fact that Vinnie Jones wasn't in it just was the best part about it. I couldn't go over the Juggernaut from the third one. That was just, that killed it for me.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I didn't mind it.
We've got Ash here saying from Popcorn Horror saying evening everyone. Hey Ash.
Ash.
Sub says, hey Ash, lovely seeing you the other weekend. Popcorn Ash says you too. We've got Christian here saying hey everyone. Thanks for joining.
Kristen.
We've got the King of Collectibles here saying, have you ever seen the Banana Splits movie?
Heard of it, but never seen it.
Yeah. I've heard of it, but
I've heard it's rough.
I've seen it about, and I've been like, oh, do I watch it? But I'm like, it's going to be awful. But I've heard from some people it's not that bad.
Is it the movie that Five Nights at Freddy's was based on or something? Like
I think it was supposed to be a Five Nights at Freddy's
like
film, and then they
puppets,
lost the license, so they had that. But
right.
I don't know. Right, we've got Lisa Michelle here saying, all right, lads, hope you're all well. Who's watching Lightyear? So
I'm going to see it on Friday. Book me ticket for it.
Brilliant. Chris?
Yeah, I'm going to go see it, definitely. I like the idea, and I love the fact that Evans is voicing it as well, which is quite cool. So yeah, I like the kind of it's weird, because we grew up with Buzz, so it is kind of strange, but I do like the idea of it, and it's just going to be another cash cow for Disney and Pixar, man. They've just literally opened up another franchise with that, so we'll see. Maybe we'll get Woody's origin story of a real cowboy.
Yeah.
Something like that. You never know.
What about you, Mike?
I'll probably see it at some point. To be honest, I don't really have much interest in it, if I'm perfectly honest. But yeah, I'll see it at some point.
Yeah, that's fair dues. Trailers look good. I'm definitely interested in watching it. Probably it will come to Disney Plus in about a month or two time, so that's when I'll watch it then. looking forward to it. Trailers do look good. I'm more interested in the little robot cat called Socks,
Yeah.
to be fair. We've got Christine here saying, hello, everyone. Hey, Christine.
Hey, Christine.
Surf says, Mancave, have you seen The Last Exorcism Part 1?
I don't know who was in that one. I've seen many exorcism movies of Emily Rose and Exorcism. I mean, I think I've heard of it, but I haven't seen it. But I quite like the sound of it.
Have you seen it, Mike?
I don't think I have. I can't quite place it because yeah, there is quite a few of those like sort of exorcism type movies, isn't there? Can't quite place it.
Oh, I think I know what it is now. I think I have seen it. I think it's the one with the girl on the kind of, yeah, she's like in a barn and stuff. She's part of like kind of a religious, like a preachy family. Yeah, I've seen it. It's actually really good. Yeah, I quite enjoyed it. Well, it's so good that that's how much I remembered it. So, but yeah, I do know the movie now.
Oh, that's good. You seen it, Andy?
I've not. No.
No.
The only exorcism movies I've seen is that the like original trilogy.
Yeah, they're really good, man. I think the third one to this day, I still think it's one of the most underrated.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Because I know it's not really in kind of touch with what the first one especially is about, but George C. Scott, and I think I was online the other day talking about it. The scene with that scene to this day is still one of the scariest scenes in a horror movie when the nurse walks into the room, and that gave me nightmares as a kid, and still to this day, it's got such a massive impact on horror. So I actually love them all, but the third one is probably my favorite.
Yeah, that third one is really good. Very underrated. More people should definitely give that one a go.
Yeah.
Right. We've got Bumpers Movies here saying, evening all. Who has the better filmography, Fincher or Tarantino?
It's a tough one, but I'm going to have to say Tarantino. I just find his movies a lot more entertaining and easier watch. I think probably out of his movies, probably his weakest is probably Death Proof. Still watch that movie. Whereas Fincher's made some movies I really, really don't like Social Network. I despise that film. But yeah, it's Tarantino for me. I'm just hooked by his dialogue in sort of every movie that he's done. Yeah, he's just too rewatchable.
Yeah. What about you, Chris?
100% Tarantino. I agree. I just think I think when you look at Tarantino and what he's done over the years, and not just Tarantino, but look at the amount of filmmakers that have been influenced by Tarantino. You know, everybody tries their. You know, I remember Tarantino was the first kind of guy to do these kind of movies where you would get like the ending at the beginning, then you would just get a different storyline, then you come back to it, and no one had done that. That was his kind of style. That was the way he was. And then you look at a lot of movies now; they try and replicate that, and it just doesn't have the same effect. But yeah, I'd say for me, Tarantino, and my favorite still to this day is Inglourious Bastards. That's one of my favorite films ever.
Yeah. Mike?
Yeah, Tarantino for me as well. I think on the whole, I like pretty much all of his movies, whereas Fincher, I only really like Seven and Zodiac. The rest of his movies I can take or leave, but I do respect him as a director, but it's definitely Tarantino for me.
Yeah, this is going to be a hard one for me because I haven't seen many Tarantino films. I've only seen about one and a bit of. I've seen, I think it's Kill Bill, but I've seen part 2. So yeah, I do have pretty much all of them in the collection, but I've never got around to watching them. So again, I'm going to have to watch some more Tarantino films. But I have seen 1 or 2 Fincher films. The ones I have seen I've enjoyed. I like Seven. Weren't a big fan of Social Network. Did he do Gone Girl?
Yeah.
Yeah, I did like that one as well.
Yeah, the game's pretty good as well.
Oh yeah, Michael Douglas. Yeah.
So, out of not seeing many of his films, I'd probably have to say Fincher, but it probably will change once I've watched them. We've got Coral here saying, "Oh Jesus Christ, they were on time." Yes, we were, Coral. Soph here saying, "Hey, Coral." Ash says, "Bumper, such a tough call there." Yeah. We've got Matt from Vengeance Media here saying, "Good evening, gentlemen." Good evening, Matt.
Evening.
Oh, the comments have gone absolutely weird now. Where are we going now? Right. Ash says, "Pete, you mentioned on your video the other day for Steven Seagal movies. Can't say I would recommend it, but rewatch Half Past Dead last night. I'm going to gather by that emoji he did not enjoy it." Oh, well. I've basically come to suggest with Steven Seagal movies, like the 90s stuff is okay, and one or two from the early 2000s is okay, and then you steer the fuck clear away from everything else.
Yeah, 100%.
Mm.
When he starts
But
to
he
look
was-
like it's when he starts to look like a seagull, you stop watching. Like as he's got older, man, it's just like I stopped watching. I think after Executive Decision for me, that was it.
Yeah.
That was my last favorite one he did.
Yeah. That wasn't even really a film with him in. He was in it for about 5 minutes.
Yeah, I know.
But he's in Machete as well, isn't he?
Oh God, yeah. I totally forgot about that.
That's quite a fun film. I have seen
Yeah.
that many years ago. That is good. That's probably his last film.
I still think the worst thing he's done was that episode of Roseanne.
Oh, wow.
It's terrible.
I see there was one that he did Saturday Night Live. There was like old footage of it, and oh my days, it was dreadful.
Yeah.
Oh my days. But yeah, Matt says, "What's your thoughts on the sequel to Joker being a musical with Lady Gaga? This is why we can't have nice things."
I saw this morning when I woke up. It was the first thing that came on my feed, and I saw the other day when they mentioned about the sequel, and I was really dubious about it because Joker was one of them films that I absolutely loved when I went to see it at the cinema, and the 4K transfer was really good. I loved watching it again, but I always remember thinking if there was ever going to be a sequel, it would have to be really good because Phoenix does not do sequels. That's his big thing. Joaquin Phoenix will not touch a sequel. And the fact that he's signed on because the script's so good, that interests me. I don't know about the Lady Gaga thing. As an actress, I don't dislike her. I think she's all right in some of the stuff she does. I didn't like the Gucci movie. I thought that was the most hammed up thing I've ever seen in my life. Especially the accents. Jared Leto's to this day.
Yeah.
Still, I can't get out of my head. Even when I was watching Morbius, I kept thinking of the Italian. So yeah. So with Gaga as an actress, I don't mind her being a Harley Quinn. When it says musical though, I don't think it's as literal as what we think. That's what I'm thinking. I don't think it's like supposed to be a musical. I think it's going to be one of them movies where it's going to have those cutaway moments where Harley or Joker are like in a different, they're in their heads and it's all like glamorous Broadway style, that thing. I don't think the whole movie is going to be like a straight up musical. I can't imagine that. So I think that's maybe just where the press have kind of got it from. But I don't know. I'm not going to judge because I always say this with any superhero films, making judgments, especially like when it comes to the Batman universe. It's like the whole Heath Ledger thing when everybody said, "Oh my God, the guy from 10 Things I Hate About You is going to be Joker." How can that happen? And then we saw what we saw. So I always kind of wait for the moment. So at this time, I'm on the fence.
Right. Yeah. It's probably the best way to be because not a lot of details have been revealed yet, and it may not even be true.
Yeah.
Andy?
This is the first time hearing of it, to be honest. I don't really know what to make of it. I mean, I do think she is a talented individual. Like, she's a good songwriter, and I thought she was great in Star is Born, but yeah, I don't really know what to make of it, to be honest.
Is it April Fool's?
Yeah. Yeah.
I think it was revealed late last night, and I just checked my phone,
Yeah.
and I was like, "What? Really?" And all the comments were, "Hang on a minute, this isn't April 1st. Why are we talking about musicals with Joker?" I mean, it's a very odd decision of a route to go down with this film, but I don't know. I have to wait and see. But I'm not in negative to have Lady Gaga as Harley Quinn. I think she'd be quite good because I think she's a fairly decent actress.
Mhm.
But it's going to be very interesting if they're going to have musical bits in it. But I will have to wait and see. But I thought the first Joker worked fine as a standalone movie and didn't really need a sequel. But
Mhm.
there you go. Money talks, I suppose. Mike, what about you?
Yeah, I'm kind of the same as you, Pete. Like, I thought the first Joker was, it was a good movie, and I don't think it really needs a sequel. If I'm honest, I think it just works fine as a standalone. But as a musical, I've got to be honest. Like, I'm not totally against it. I don't know. Like, I'd like to see them do something a bit different, something a bit more unconventional. I don't know. Like, I'm not totally against it. I mean, obviously, we don't really know at this point in time what it's going to be, but yeah, we'll see how it goes.
Yeah. But I'm going to gather still quite a few years away, probably another 2 or 3
Yeah.
years away, so a lot could change then. But it'll be interesting to see how this all pans out in a few years' time.
Mm.
Cora says to herself, "Hello, madame." Cora says, "Is Lady Gaga going to play the Joker?" Oh. Pete says he's doing well. That's good to hear, and Self's doing well as well. We've got David Beach here saying, "Good evening, guys. Very nice day today. The weather was nice.
Lovely.
It was hot. That's all I'm going to say." We've got King of Collectibles here saying, "What's your favourite Harry Potter film?"
Prisoner of Azkaban for me. Gary
Yeah.
Oldman's introduction, I think that was my favourite.
I think I do agree with you as well. I think Gary Oldman, the whole darkness setting of that one, that was the one that really started to get dark.
Yeah.
You had werewolves in it as well, and it just worked. It was quite a polar opposite from Chamber of Secrets, but this was when Harry Potter started to get quite good, in my opinion.
And the kids got a bit better. Like they were starting to be, I mean, they weren't terrible, but they were better actors now. So, yeah, I still think that third one was my favourite.
I agree. Andy?
I quite like Chamber of Secrets, to be honest. I think that's probably my favourite one. And I kind of like the scene with Aragog. I kind of think it's quite creepy.
Yeah.
But yeah, that movie, it's like it's nearly like 3 hours long when you look at the runtime.
That's the longest one, isn't it?
The longest one out of all of them, but it doesn't feel it.
No.
It's probably one of the shorter books as well.
Yeah, I think it is the shortest book. Yeah, I can remember people saying about that.
I think it's like the second shortest, but yeah, it's probably Chamber of Secrets for me.
Yeah. All I can remember from that film is that the one where you've got Moan and Myrtle and Harry and Ron pretend to be Jacob Malfoy's friends? Always found that quite odd.
Yeah, I don't know. I kind of like Kenneth Branagh in that film.
I do.
Yeah.
I think he had a lot of fun in that film.
He said there's like a fun little after credit scene with him as well at the end.
Yeah, I think I remember seeing that. And you, Mike?
Yeah, it's not my favorite franchise, but I do really like the third one. I do think it's a pretty good movie. So yeah, probably the third one.
Yeah. Awesome. We've got David here saying, "Good evening, sir." Right. Edward says, "As the Bourne Identity starred Matt Damon premiered in theatres 20 years ago, where does it rank among your favourite action movies?"
Oh, pretty low on my list, to be honest. Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong, they're good movies, they're good to watch, but I mean, there's so many that have come before, and still to this day, there's so many now that are being made that I think are slightly, superior. So yeah, I don't think it's up there as my favorite franchise. I liked I think it was the one with Paddy Considine. I think it was the second. Was it Supremacy?
The third
I
one.
think it's the
Third
third
one,
one.
sorry.
Yeah.
I quite enjoyed
Ultimatum.
it. Yeah, I quite enjoyed Ultimatum. And I didn't mind the Renner one as well, with Rachel Weisz. I didn't mind that as well. But I just think if you're talking your favorite action movies, it's pretty low down on my list.
Yeah. Andy?
Yeah, I'm pretty much the same. They're good action movies, but they don't do enough to stick out from the crowd. They just fall in, and if I'm honest, they're kind of a little bit forgettable for me. Like I've got nothing against them. They are fun and enjoyable, and they are entertaining. But yeah, I'm more of like a Stallone and Arnie guy. That's my go-to for action. But yeah, they are what they are. They're fine. I've got nothing against them, but they're just not movies I go back to very often.
Yeah, that's I can get where you're coming from there. Mike?
I can only mirror what everyone else has said. Yeah, they're okay. They're fine, but yeah, they're just very forgettable. I haven't seen them in the longest time. So yeah, they're not my favorites, but yeah, they're okay.
Yeah. I rewatched them a couple of years ago or last year, and the first three are pretty good. The other two are complete crap. The first one's pretty good. Second one's, I think, is a little bit better. I think Carl Urban's in that one, and he's quite an evil bastard in that one. Mind the language. But and the third one's really good. But they're quality made movies, but they don't really stand out, shall I say. There's no one memorable moment there that you can pick out from an Arnie film or a Stallone film. They're solid films, solid spy sort of espionage films, but I'd say they rank probably low to middle for me.
Yeah.
So says Evening David. We have double bill movies here. Evening guys, how you doing in this heat? Chris, what movie watching options do you get on board ships?
Pretty shitty, to be honest. Yeah, so when you go away for I go away for like 3 months at a time, and it's really funny. Like the newest movie on the crew channels, like Mrs. Doubtfire or the original Mad Max, in HD or the widescreen version, not the full screen. So yeah, it's not great. That's why you do a lot of your stuff before you go out there. So you just go off in the ports and you download on your Google Play Store or your Apple Store or your Netflix and stuff. But when it comes to movies that they offer us, it's not great. However, we have a cinema on board, so we get the new movies that come in the same time as when they come out here. So you can go see that, but it's quite hard because it's in the guest areas. So you got to make sure you finish work and then you can go. But when it comes to your crew cabins and watching in your room, it's horrific. Actually, the Harry Hill movie was on last week. That was one of the new ones, and I think I just sat in silence for an hour and a half instead. It was a lot better.
I think if I was on a boat and that was the new film, I'd probably sit in the corner and cry. So they only get it takes a while for some newer films to come on and on.
Yeah, it's to do with licensing. So because your show with a cinema, it's kind of like you're showing it all in the same room to watch it. But whereas you've got 1,800 crew members, so you've got all these cabins that have got their own TVs, so they're all played through like some form of hard drive system, like a media system. So to get them updated with new movies, it takes a long time. I think I've been on the set. I've worked for the company for 10 years, and for the last 10 years, if I ever watch the original Matthew Broderick Godzilla again in my life, it'll be never enough, because that movie's been on the same. It's been in the same every ship for 10 years. The 1996 Godzilla, still there.
Oh wow!
We've not even got the new one yet, so it's pretty
hopefully
bad.
Hopefully you'll get the new one in the next 10 years.
Maybe.
Oh man. David says, have you watched the new Jurassic Park movie yet, guys? I know Andy and Chris have, but me and Mike haven't. We have the Frozen one. Sup, everyone. It's the Frozen one. Thanks ever so much for joining. We've got Evander here saying, hey everyone, your friendly neighborhood Spidey is here. Hey Evander, hope you're doing
What's
well,
up?
mate.
Evander.
We've got AJ here saying, how's it going, everyone? Thanks for joining, AJ. Hope you're well.
AJ.
We've got Carlos here, Eastwood for Life fan. Hi, guys. Is the Predator franchise overdone now, or could an Arnie spark some interest in a possible movie, or maybe is a little past it?
Yeah, I think it's past it, to be honest. It was lightning in a bottle. I think the formula only really worked once. I think they're just beating it to death.
Yeah.
Nothing. There's no movie they can release that will top that original.
No.
No.
I do agree.
Ever. They'll never be able to do it.
I know they're doing this new TV show. I think is it called Prey?
Yeah.
Where it's kind of like a prequel, which I mean, it looks all right for an HBO Max thing. It looks not bad, but yeah, I can agree. I mean, I like the second one with Danny Glover because it was just a straight out dark horror movie. You know, it didn't have as much of the action that the original had. It was just a real dark horror movie. And I was so excited when Alien versus Predator came out, the first one. I was like so excited to see this franchise. And I think is it Kevin McKidd or the guy from Trainspotting was in it?
Yeah.
With Spud.
Yeah.
And when I saw the casting, I was like, oh, this is strange. And I absolutely hate that movie so much. The acting is so bad. So yeah, I totally agree with Andy. Like to try and recapture that is very hard. And with the other two, like Predators with Adrian Brody, I liked the concept, but again, it was just it was past it by that point. And then what they tried to do with the Boyd Holbrook one was it's as if they tried to recreate not just the franchise itself, but they tried to make it 80s. They tried to make it like all like in that same kind of feel, like over the top action and stuff like that. But if you don't have the cast, it's not going to work. You know, and that cast for that film, man, it was just terrible. Where Keegan Key was in it for the comedy effect, and there was just too much. So yeah, for me, I agree. I think it has passed it now. I think it's kind of draw a line under it. Move on.
Yeah. I'm agreeing with what you're saying. There's so much they can do with it. As you said, Andy, it's a lightning in a bottle sort of situation. Arnie is too old to come back. He come back for Terminator, Dark Fate. That didn't work. Less said about that film, the better. I wasn't that keen on it. But honestly, I'm looking forward to this new one. It looks kind of cool. It's going to do something different. But I honestly don't think that they can never get a good Predator film. I know they're trying to do another TV series after this Prey one, if it's a success. But I don't know. It's just like, it feels like Disney's got this property and they're like, it's popular, let's try and make it popular again. And they're just failing. What about you, Mike?
Yeah, I think it probably is past it. Yeah, similar to Chris, like I do like Predator 2. I think it's different enough from the first movie because it's like completely different environments in the city. So I think it was an interesting sort of way to go. But I think every movie since, it's just kind of repeated itself. And like this new movie, Prey, I mean, it looks all right, but I feel like it's just going to mostly be a copy of the original, just kind of in a different time period and a different setting, really. But yeah, I do think it's probably past it.
Yeah. It's probably best they left it in the 80s, shall we say. Yeah. I wasn't a big fan of The Predator, that one that came out a few years ago. I just didn't like it. What was it, Shane Black's film?
The Boyd Holbrook one. Yeah, it was just they tried to recreate the 80s. It was like you could tell it was an over the top 80s action movie, but set like now, and it just didn't work. And I think the moment you start giving like the Predator in general, the character of the Predator, when you start giving an emotional backstory, you lose all kind of thing for it. That's why the first one and the second one were really good, because you didn't know much about it. It was this thing that was hunting you. But then when you start giving them like emotions and like facial expressions and stuff like that, and it's like, yeah, it's just lost it from there.
Yeah, I think as well, like because we all know what the Predators look like now, like they kind of lose that impact. Because I can remember seeing the first Predator, I had the VHS for it, and the cover, it didn't give anything away.
Yeah.
Like no pictures of the Predator at all. All the cover was like Arnie holding a machine gun, and you had no idea what the movie was going to be. And I remember watching this movie and just being so engrossed in it, because I was like, what's going on? What is this thing that's hunting them? And it was just amazing seeing everything unfold. But because we know the Predators and they're so like etched in pop culture now, it just doesn't have the same impact.
Yeah, I do agree. I bet when Predator was first shown in cinema and they finally revealed what was under the helmet, I bet that was the reaction in cinemas was something special.
Yeah.
Frozen one saying, "What's up, AJ?" We've got the King of Collectibles saying, "Wow, when it works, Rambo or Rocky."
I'm going to go with Rocky. I've got to, man. Balboa is my boy. I love the movies. I mean, well, sorry, I loved 1, 2, 3, and 4. So yeah, I love Stallone in those movies. Like, don't get me wrong, Rambo is great. Rambo 3, I love as well. I think it's a great movie. It's so over the top, man. At that point, it just really was over the top Stallone 80s action. But when you watch, like, I rewatched, was it Rocky 3 recently, actually, and to see what he'd done for his body in that movie, like the amount of weight that he lost to get that lean was just ridiculous, man. Like how he done it, I don't know. But like that, I still think Rocky, man, it's one of the greatest movies. The first one, especially, it's just an amazing character drama that, Oscar worthy and everything. But yeah, I'd go with Rocky over Rambo.
Good pick. What about you, Andy?
I'm probably gonna have to say Rocky as well. Those first 4 movies are some of like the most rewatchable movies ever. I think Rocky 4 is just absolute 80s time capsule of a movie, and it is just absolutely phenomenal. I think the video, the music video for that Robert Tepper song. I think there's a comment.
yeah. Easy way out.
No, easy way out.
Yes.
There's a comment on the YouTube video of that, and it says, "This is where real men come when times are hard." And it couldn't be more true.
It's so true.
You can put that soundtrack on, and I am ready for a day of working out. Like that is the most
Hearts on Fire, man.
Hearts
the greatest.
Oh yeah.
It was kind of the birth of the montage.
Yeah.
It really was the montage. It was like there's so many great scenes in that montage that I still remember this day. I just remember like the when he's lifting up the horses, like, and Paulie's on it and stuff, and then Drago's just getting like injections in his leg by Bridget Nielsen, and it's just brilliant, man. Such an amazing soundtrack, and I totally agree, man. Totally agree.
It's wood versus metal, that movie. It's Stallone, working out with just what he's got around him, nature, and then you've got like all the fucking techno gizmo shit with Drago, and it's just like the natural stuff overcomes. It's just so good. Like even the end when the crowd turns against Drago and they're cheering for Rocky. It's just like, I want to watch it now. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I get that.
It's the way, like, even like the coach is saying to Drago, like they're screaming his name, and it's just like you're a disgrace and all this, and he's just like, if I'm going to win for me, and it's just like everything goes Rocky's way in that movie. Like he's on foreign soil.
Yeah,
everything's against him. The odds are against him, the country's against him, and he just overcomes, and it is just so good.
Also in that movie, there is so many underrated scenes that I actually appreciate. Like some of the scenes with Polly, man, are just brilliant. And like, first of all, the robot, Happy Birthday, Uncle Polly.
Yeah.
Like that robot, man. Back then, you were like, this is the greatest thing ever, man. And when you think about it, it's just a Roomba. It's literally a Roomba that hoovers your room, and it's just got a voice. But then also there's a scene that I always laugh when I watch, and it's when Polly first arrives at the thing, and he goes, I hope they got my comics. And then he tries to walk across the store, and he falls, and he just keeps making these random noises going, ah, ah.
Yeah.
To this day, I think that's a great scene as well. So like, I want to rewatch it again because I know they released the director's cut. I wouldn't mind watching to see what that's like with the extra footage and the stuff, but it's up there. It's my favorite Rocky movie of all of them. But yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I agree.
It's not to take away from Rambo, but it's just Rocky's got that magic about it,
Yeah. Mike?
Yeah, it's got to be Rocky. I think overall, most of the sequels are like they're all pretty good. Even the fifth one, I know the fifth one gets a lot of hate, but I still do enjoy it for what it is. Whereas some of the Rambo sequels are maybe not that great, but I still don't mind them. But if we were talking about just the first Rocky and the first Rambo, that would be a much harder question because I do really love First Blood. First Blood is just an amazing movie, and that's a tough one if it's just between the first movie. But as a franchise, definitely Rocky.
Yeah. I'm going to agree with everybody here and say Rocky as well. The first Rambo is superb, and if it was up against the first Rocky, as you said, Mike, it would be a hard choice. But as for the franchises alone, it's got to be Rocky. The first four are fantastic. First one's a brilliant, lower key sort of film, underdog, and it really does have a good story to it, great characters, and it just works out so well. Second one's a great continuation. The third one has a real heartbreaking death in it, and obviously you got Mr. T in it.
Clubber Lang, man.
Yeah, Clubber Lang, man.
Oh, it's just so brilliant. And then the fourth one is just 80s encapsulated into a film. 90 minutes of pure fun it is. The director's cut's pretty good, but it's kind of more slower pace. It takes out a lot of the fun elements of it. Whilst it's still there, it's just the original cut's the best way to go, I think.
Yeah.
I think if you, it's so true. If you put up that original Rocky with First Blood, I think I would give it a First Blood if it was just that, because not like that film was brilliant, and when you look back at it as well, Brian Dennehy in that film is just amazing. Like, what a performance! And like Stallone doesn't have a lot of dialogue in the whole film when you look at it, and just his acting alone, just like his whole, demeanor, the way he holds himself in that film, really is. It stands the testament. Like, you could watch that tomorrow and still think it's timeless. Yeah, such a great movie. So, like, if I was to put it up against the original Rocky, I would give it to First Blood.
Yeah.
Yeah. Have you guys seen Rambo: Last Blood? What is it like?
Yeah,
it's all right.
Okay.
It's all right. Yeah,
it's all right.
Yeah.
The fourth one was a real surprise. Like the fourth one.
Yeah.
I like that one.
Level of violence.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah,
I think that's what they tried to do, wasn't it? They tried to, like, they brought him into the kind of today, and the only way that they could try and get it across was, let's take the violence and just up a notch. Let's put, like, John Rambo in situations where he will just rip someone's throat out with his hands.
Yeah.
And they could do that then, there wasn't any there was a lot more censorship back in the 80s and the 90s and stuff. But that fourth one I really enjoyed. The Last Blood was all right, the Cowboy Ranch stuff. I was like, nah. But yeah, the fourth one with was it set in like Burma or something? Vietnam. It was so good.
Yeah. Oh, it's what got me was what the whole tense scene for me was the it's like the bit where they've got the villagers and they're just tossing mines
Oh,
in the you know, in this flood, and then making them walk across it. It's horrible.
yeah.
It's just like, oh my god, don't go off.
Yeah.
And then when it does, it's violent as hell. There's just body parts flying everywhere.
It is. It's a brutal film, definitely.
Oh, yeah.
Right. We have Soph saying, we have discovered you look like my uncle, AJ. We've got Bumpers saying, yes, Trev. We've got Matt B Movies here saying, good evening, everyone. Good evening, Matt. Oh, yes. Soph says, what do you think of the promo pictures of the Barbie movie with Margot Robbie and is it Ryan Gosling?
Ryan Gosling. I just saw the Ryan Gosling one tonight. I don't know. I'm really taken aback by this. I mean, I just saw the picture literally before we came on stream of Gosling as Ken, and he looks like Ken. I can't get my head around it because Gosling doesn't pick shitty movies. It's been he picks his projects quite well, and do you know what I mean? And I know Robbie is like on a bit of a run over the last like 6-7 years and some big films. Could this just be a franchise thing for her? But for Gosling to be signing up to be Ken, it's got to have some kind of. It can't just be money or anything like that because like this guy's done enough and he's proven himself. But I don't know, man. I don't know how I feel about this film.
No. I saw the picture just before I went live, and I was like, "What am I looking at? Is this the Barbie movie or a new fucking Magic Mike film?" But it's very odd. For as stupid as the film sounds, I'm kindly oddly interested in it because there's got to be something there. There's got to be something there. I'm getting Lego Movie vibes from it. I'm wondering if it's going to be something like that, if they're going to go down that sort of route. It's very odd, but it's coming out next year, isn't it? So. We'll soon have a trailer, so we'll soon be able to see what we think of it. What do you think, Andy?
I haven't seen the pictures yet. I think I've seen the one of Margot Robbie, but I've not seen the Ryan Gosling one.
Yeah.
But, yeah, it's either going to be like the Lego Movie or it's going to be the Emoji Movie. It's going to go.
That is a good comparison. Yeah. What about you, Mike?
Yeah, I've seen the pictures, but apart from that, I don't really know too much about the movie. I mean, I can't say I was much of a Barbie fan as a kid, so I don't really have like that much interest in the movie. But yeah, we'll see what happens when we get more details about it.
Yeah.
If they don't have Aqua doing the theme song, it's game over. Telling you, man.
Apparently, they said that is not going to appear in the film. And
that
really upset a lot of people.
Yeah.
Aqua Revival. Then Dr. Jones could be the new Indiana Jones theme tune. That's it, man. Just Aqua Revival.
Right, we've got Carlos here saying, I'm a big fan of Stallone and Arnie. Stallone's the better actor, but Arnie can do a bit of comedy. With Stallone, there's a little bit over serious, and his comedy efforts are not so good for me. Yeah.
Well, Stallone tricked him into doing Stop or My Mum Will Shoot, didn't he?
Yeah. Oh, wow.
Yes. Schwarzenegger tricked him into doing.
Yeah.
Well, Arnie's comedies, man, I fucking love Twins.
Oh, Twins.
Yeah. Twins
and Kindergarten Cop.
Kindergarten Cop.
Yeah.
Jingle All the Way, man. Jingle All the Way.
Yeah. And he's probably the best thing about Batman and Robin.
Oh, no.
Oh, he's having loads of fun there. You can tell it.
Have you seen the Arnold baby in Junior?
Yeah.
That shit'll fuck you up.
Yeah.
Yeah. That'll give you that'll scar you for life. That.
Yeah. Matt says no. Lady Gaga is playing Harley Quinn. Yeah, I think she'll be all right. I'm not totally against the idea. We got Doctor Impossible here. What about Raw Deal, guys? Just a line in the film: "You should not drink or bake," is classic. Schwarzenegger's was struggling with the English language in the film, and he's hard as Austrian nails.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think that movie is okay. It's probably one of my lesser favorite, like sort of one of my lesser Arnie movies, but it's okay.
I just like it when he's driving around to like the Rolling Stones, and then he has to just quickly jump out the car before he gets bulldozed.
Yeah.
Red Heat as well, man. I love that.
Oh,
film.
Red Heat, man. Yeah, Red Heat's a great movie.
I agree. Right. King of Collectibles says DC films or Marvel films.
This is a terrible. I hate this. I hate this argument. Don't get me wrong. I'm a DC. I've always been DC. I don't like what they've done over the years with DC films. They're nowhere near as good as what Marvel is. However, I think Marvel's is coming to a point now where they've done everything I think that they can when it comes to epic Hollywood blockbuster money making movies. Endgame was like the the pinnacle of pinnacles, and everything was great. And now we're starting to see a little just a slight decline, with like Eternals, Doctor Strange, Multiverse of Madness. They're not as critically, acclaimed as the other ones. But whereas now we're starting to see DC starting to pick things up, with the Batman, with Joker that just came, with the Snyder Cut with Justice League. So I'm still going to say DC, but I appreciate the Marvel films. I think they're amazing. But hopefully DC are coming back. This is them coming back now.
Hopefully so, yeah. Andy?
I mean, yeah, I think for me, I've always preferred DC over Marvel. I just like the characters more. But I really do appreciate the whole cinematic universe that Kevin Feige's created. That whole project is just absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, all right. After Endgame, there's been hits and misses. For me, I mean, I think the best thing to come after Endgame was No Way Home. Without a shadow of a doubt. But DC were very sort of trying to emulate Marvel that time with the whole, Batman v Superman was coming out at the same time as Civil War. It was very obvious they were trying to play catch up. But I think now that they're doing their own solo thing, they're actually churning out some decent movies.
Yeah.
But it's very hard to choose.
And Black Adam looks amazing.
Still haven't seen the trailer yet.
Oh, you haven't seen it? Oh, it's really good.
Really good trailer. Yeah. I mean, I'm more excited. It's really sad. I'm more excited about Pierce Brosnan as Dr. Fate. Like, I think that's an amazing piece of casting because, like, from reading the comics and stuff, like, Fate is that kind of wise old figure. And like Brosnan is, I think Brosnan's a good actor, man. I think he'd be quite good as a part. But with Black Adam, getting Dwayne Johnson on board, man, and literally having him be the face of your franchise. I mean, it's been a touch wood. It's been a while since, Dwayne's had a massive flop. Most of his films are pretty big. So I've got high hopes of Black Adam. And the fact that they had to go do reshoots because Dwayne wasn't happy with how it was. He's quite a strong affinity towards this character. And this film has been in development for years. It's a bit like the Reynolds Deadpool thing. It's a love, like he as a love letter to Black Adam. He's always wanted to play the part. So I think maybe that could be the turning point for DC is the Black Adam film.
Yeah, I agree. I know. Like Dwayne Johnson is he an executive producer on it? He's got some sort of role in it as well as playing Black Adam. So the trailer for it does look really good, but it's been delayed now to October, hasn't it, or autumn time? Because it was supposed to come out this summer, weren't it?
Yeah, I think it was something to do with what it was going up against. They changed it to put it around about the fall time, so I think that's why they changed.
Yeah, but it's not too long to wait, so that's not too bad. What about you, Mike?
Yeah, it's a tough one, really, because I think on the whole, I don't know. Maybe I'd probably veer more towards DC because I feel like their movies tend to be a bit darker and a bit edgier, which I tend to prefer. I mean, I think the Marvel movies, I feel like they play it quite safe. Not that that's a bad thing. That I still think they're really fun, entertaining movies, but I don't know. Like DC seem to take more risks. I don't know, or they just seem a bit more edgier, a bit darker, and yeah, like everyone's saying, like they seem to have found their feet a little bit because I know they did have quite a rough few years, but it's looking a bit more positive for them now. So yeah, I'd probably give it to DC, but Marvel have probably been the more sort of consistent in terms of movies at the moment.
Absolutely. Yeah, I agree with you. I think like pre the MCU, there was some really good Marvel films like Spider-Man and the X-Men stuff, even Blade, and I don't mind the first Ghost Rider.
Ghost Rider, yeah.
But the MCU, the whole project, there's nothing sort of short of amazing. What they've done there was create this big multi-film franchise that everybody's still trying to copy to this day. But again, like with Endgame, it feels like that was the perfect end. Some of these new films are good. I don't mind Eternals, but it definitely feels like it's reached its peak now and it's never going to go back there. No Way Home was a nice, really return to form for the MCU. It was fantastic, but again, we'll probably feel that same sort of feeling with the next Spider-Man film. After that highest of highs, what's the next one going to be like?
I think as well, I think it's, Kevin Feige done something like which I always think is what you do with a good TV show, where you base it over 6 seasons, 5 or 6 seasons, like, and you have a start, a middle, and end, so you know where it's going to go. And the fact that when Feige was saying, like, he knew, like, when they were on the first phase, he was already in phase 3 mode of where it was going to go after this. You know, he was always planning ahead, and I feel that's what made the fans and everybody enjoy the movies, because it's like you were excited to kind of go, where are we going to go next? What's going to happen? Now it feels like we've hit the pinnacle, and now the fans are a bit more demanding than what they were 10 years ago. We want everything now. We want everything like, come on, let's move on. And I think that's where they're failing, because they're not giving us enough to go on. But whereas back in the original, like Iron Man, Thor, and Captain America, the first one, you know, you just appreciate them for what they were, and your brain, you're like, this is going to be great in the future, where we're going to go with it. But the fans have changed, and I think this is where they might falter slightly. Because for me, Multiverse, I don't know if you've seen Multiverse of Madness. I was really excited about it, and it was a good film, but it was nowhere near the hype what it got.
Yeah, it felt very restrained, that movie.
Yeah.
It just felt like it was holding back.
Yeah,
with what it could have been.
Yeah, not a lot of multiverse, not a lot of madness. To be fair.
And I think it was down to the fact that I know that the whole Illuminati thing was changed so many times. I know that they did like 2 or 3 different versions of it that were getting filmed and then reshoots, and there was a lot of stuff going on. If I'm being honest, I was really excited about Reed Richards, because that was the biggest thing for me. John Krasinski for me is my Reed Richards. When I think Reed Richards, I'm like, it's John Krasinski. But then I'm not, no spoilers, but what they've done to these characters in this film, I was so angry. So angry. You know, so yeah, I could see that where they were going with it. But even in Multiverse of Madness, you could see where Feige's brain was, because the fact that we had Black Bolt probably was off of the premise of what they thought hopefully was going to be, and their brains, maybe at this point in Multiverse of Madness, we're about 2 or 3 seasons into Inhumans, but we got cancelled after the first season because it was terrible. So I don't know what Marvel are going to do to kind of pull everybody back in as such. They're going to put bums on seats and people are going to go and see these movies, but grab them like the way they grabbed them with the original first 3 phases. I just don't know what they're going to
do. It doesn't feel like they've got a straight path anymore. No. It just feels like they're just putting out random films and just hoping that they're a success.
Yeah.
But at least with DC, they are doing something different. They are actually doing more mature movies as well, like 15+ films, which is something Marvel hasn't done yet. So props to DC, and yeah, I will say DC as well. I'm more excited for their future projects as well than Marvel's at the moment. We've got Lisa and Michelle saying, "Is anyone picking up Morbius?"
Probably not.
I'm actually going to pick it up. I know it sounds terrible. This was one of these films, like, it was another one of those ones that before it came out, it was absolutely ripped to shreds. And sometimes those kind of films, when you watch them, you go in with the mindset of it's going to be the worst film you've ever seen. And it ends up you come out going, and you kind of fall favor on it by going, it wasn't as bad as what people said, but it was still a terrible film. Yeah. So for me, that was Morbius. In a nutshell, Morbius was a great start. I was like, oh, right, okay, this is great. And I think someone lost the script because there was no story in that film at all. And Matt Smith's character and just, it was just...
I've heard.
there was just so many moments. There's something about Leto, man. It's just, I just couldn't warm to him as Morbius. He just didn't have I know that he's playing a villain and stuff, but he just didn't have that kind of side to him like Tom Hardy had in Venom, where you can at least enjoy him. It was like a solid 5 out of 10 film for me. It was just average, but I'm still going to pick up on 4K. I'm going to pick it up.
Yeah, I see the artwork for it. It's like something like a comic book, isn't it? It's like a pink and black sort of art style. Very unexpected. I kind of do like the artwork. It's something different, I suppose.
Yeah.
Right. What about you, Andy? Are you picking up Morbius?
I will do eventually. I still haven't seen the movie, but I'm just not in a rush to go and see it, to be honest. I've heard terrible things about it, but I will make my own mind up when I do see it. But I'm I'm not going to rush out and grab it day one. Probably get it when it's like £2 in CX or something like that. Yeah,
that's probably for the best.
Yeah.
You, Mike?
Yeah, I'm the same as Andy. I mean, I haven't even seen it. I will probably pick it up at some point just to kind of for like collector's purposes, but I'll probably just wait until I can find it cheap in CEX or something.
Yeah, I'm the same. I'm not picking it up day one. I'll probably pick it up if it's on like a 2 for 15 offer or something. When it goes down cheaper, I'm in no rush to watch it. I've watched some scenes with Matt Smith in, and I'm like, why?
Maybe HMV will do like a Tom Cruise thing with it, where every Jared Leto movie's a tenner when you buy something else.
Yeah.
I'd buy it then. But no, I'm sad for collection purposes with DC movies. And Marvel movies. I'm going to be really sad and probably pick it up on day one.
Yeah, I picked up Venom 2 on day one and immediately regret it. It was awful. Right. We've got Carlos here. Says movie face off. The better movie, First Blood versus The Terminator, and why?
Fucking hell.
My reaction exactly.
I'm going to say Terminator. Just because it was so unique when it came out, man. It was so unique. It's so dark. And again, it's really funny. Like both of these films, the main actors in it didn't have a lot of dialogue. Think on it. And we're still talking about these movies today, which is just an amazing testament. So I would probably say Terminator just because it was so unique for the time. Michael Biehn in that film is he's just one of them actors that I love to watch. I really do. I really love watching him, man. Aliens as well. Another great film he was in. So I would say Terminator just because it was so different for the time. And it's Cameron.
Yeah. Andy?
Yeah, I'm probably gonna have to. Well, I can answer this subjectively and objectively. So I'm thinking subjectively it's Terminator, but objectively it's First Blood. But I think Terminator is just, it's the movie I'd probably watch out of these two more, just because it's I grew up on that movie. It's probably more rewatchable for me. But you're trying to choose between two 10 out of 10 movies, in my opinion. But I think First Blood is a fantastic character study of John Rambo.
Yeah.
And this sort of descent that his mind's going on. And it's iced with all these, these cool action sequences, and it's great. It's fantastic. But I get hooked to that Terminator story every time I put that disc in. I just root for those two characters to try and outrun this thing. Even I know how the movie ends. But every time I watch it, I want them to outrun it and beat it. And just this relentless, unstoppable thing chasing these two characters. I just love it. I just resonate with it. It's just the soundtrack as well.
Yeah, the soundtrack.
The soundtrack wins me over. There's some funny scenes in it. I don't know if you remember that scene where that guy's on the telephone. He just rips him out the phone booth.
Yeah.
This is so hard to choose, but it's Terminator. One scene I absolutely love in it, which I think is underrated, is I suppose it's like a flash forward scene because it takes place in the future, where that other Terminator and the dogs are just barking at him, and it's like he just throws the cloak off and he's just mowing people down. It's just, it's so good. So good. Yeah, just love it. Love that movie. Yeah.
Mike?
Yeah, I think I'd have to go with Terminator as well. I think First Blood is probably like technically the better movie, but if I want to have a good time, I'm going to put the Terminator on. It's just a lot more fun. Great soundtrack, great story, great action scenes. Terminator.
Yeah. And I echo all your opinions. Terminator. First Blood is the better film, better made film and all that, but the Terminator is just so good. It is just a non-stop thrill ride from beginning to end, and it's highly rewatchable. There's not much more I can add to it because you guys all sum it up perfectly. But yeah, Terminator. Matt says, I'd have raised Quantum of Solace. Casino Royale was a masterpiece, and then they followed it up with that absolute shite excuse of a Bond film. Oh, wow, yeah.
It's kind of grown on me over the years, that movie, Quantum of Solace. I used to hate it, but I don't think it's one of the best Bond movies, but I kind of don't mind it. I get some enjoyment out of it.
It's got a great opener. The opener's brilliant. The whole parkour stuff is brilliant, but do you know what it was? It was for me. What made it so bad was the villain.
Yeah,
I mean the villain for me, and the fact that it was like all to do with like a water company, all to do with H2O and water, and it just sometimes these Bond films, if they don't have the kind of protagonist antagonist thing so good, that's why like with Le Chiffre and Casino Royale with Mads Mikkelsen, it just elevated Craig, I think, as well in that movie. It really just brought him to the forefront, that whole dynamic between the two of them. But yeah, for me, Solace, he's got a great opener, but just the bad guy, I think he's a French actor. Very forgettable. Very, very forgettable.
Yeah. Out of what I can't even remember his name. I can't.
Uh-huh.
Is it Dominic Green? Is it Dominic Green, the name of the villain?
Think so.
Character's called Dominic Green. I can't remember the name of the actor.
And did he have any form of impairment? I can't remember. Like usual Bond villains have got something wrong with them, like a scar or a third nipple, but I don't even know what this guy had.
I just remember there was a cool bit at the end where he was fighting him with an axe. Like that was like the only cool bit about it.
Yeah.
Well, I was like, come on, Bond can take this guy,
Yeah, definitely. It's a very forgettable film.
I was quite late to the party with it because I'd heard it's pretty similar to like Jurassic World Dominion. Like it was slated, and then I watched it and I was like, that really wasn't as bad as I thought it was, but it wasn't great either. You know what I mean? Very middle of the road, but yeah, it's okay. It's not. It's probably my second least favorite James Bond film after Die Another Day. But I could still get entertained by all the James Bond movies. You know, still put more on.
I think what made it so bad as well, though, it was sandwiched between such epic Craig.
Oh yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Royale was good. I loved Royale, but Skyfall for me was just one of the most. I always remember going to see it at the cinema and wanting to buy another ticket to see it again, because again they got it right with what do you call him as the bad guy? Shit,
Javier
Bardem. That villain and that dynamic there, and the whole backstory of Bond and you know M and stuff. Just Sam Mendes, phenomenal film. Skyfall is, out of all of them films, Craig's run, Skyfall's still my favorite. Casino comes in at a number 2 for me there.
Yeah. It's like the Daniel Craig movies are kind of like the Star Trek movies in reverse. It's like all the all the even ones are good.
Yeah, it's so true.
With Star Trek, but all the odd ones are good with Craig movies.
Yeah, I agree there. Also, I think with like the Quantum of Solace, wasn't that released during like a writer's strike, and they were just putting it all together trying to make a film? So that's another reason why.
Yeah.
Now I think it was Gemma Atherton was the Bond girl as well.
Yeah.
And she was, and I remember her not being very good in that film as well.
She's not Academy in that film.
Yeah, she really not like one of them. She's a decent actress in some films I've seen her in, but she was so annoying in that film.
Yeah, she was.
Yeah, I agree.
It felt like she was trying to be what the Americans stereotype English characters. Like her accent was just like too much, like so over the top.
Yeah.
It's like tone it back, rein it in. But it just came off as annoying. Yeah.
Yeah. We've got Dr. Impossible saying, Bugsy Malone for me, and you can get Andy's rubber stamp of approval for that, quite literally.
Oh. I don't hate it as much as I used to, but still don't think it's very good.
Soph says, me and Jason are hopefully going to see The Black Phone. Is it a film that you're interested in seeing, and will you go and see it?
100%, man. I have been, like, tonight before I came on again, the trailer was released, the teaser trailer for next Wednesday, I think. So I booked my tickets. I love Ethan Hawke at the moment. Just and the great thing about Ethan Hawke is he does horror and dark really well. Like with Sinister, The Purge, you know, he's fast because like I'm really enjoying him more now. He went through a phase where I know he started off amazing, but he went through a phase where he was just releasing a lot of duds, nothing great, and he's just coming back now, and of course playing a lot more villains, like with the Marvel and Moon Knight as well. So and just the concept for Black Phone, just it sounds amazing. I'm really excited.
Yeah. Andy?
Yeah, I'll probably go and see it. I'm really intrigued by it. I think horrors, the sort of churning out, the sort of finding their feet a bit more now, horror movies, because I think some of them are pretty good. I really enjoyed that X that came out a few months ago. I thought that was
I enjoyed that. Yeah,
such a breath of fresh air, that movie. But yeah, like you say, I really do like Ethan Hawke as an actor. I think he's really underrated. He did a movie a couple of years ago called First Reformed.
Yes,
I love that movie.
Yeah, when he's a priest.
Yeah.
That was a great film.
Yeah.
Great film.
Yeah, I loved it. I thought that was such a good movie. But yeah, even in the 90s, he was like Reality Bites. I love that movie. It's very 90s, but he's great in it, and movies like Gattaca as well. I think he's so underused, but he looks terrifying in this Black Phone. Like, he just looks
he does.
Scary as shit, man.
Oh.
But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Yeah.
Yeah. Mike?
Yeah, I've not seen much for it apart from poster. I think the bus stop outside up by my house has got the poster there, so that's all I've really seen for it. But yeah, it looks interesting enough. So yeah, I'll probably check it out.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I remember it was just came out last year because it was all reviewed like last September, October time, and I assume it was coming out in November. Then they just stealth delayed it, I think. But yeah, really looking forward to it. The trailers look fantastic. Ethan Hawke looks really haunting in that,
Yeah.
and the setup really does look like it's going to be something special. And the reviews have been quite positive.
Yeah, I think they're saying that it's one of them kind of horror films where Hawk really puts everything into it. Like there's no stone unturned. He's really going to go full blown. It's a bit like was it when Dylan did The House That Jack Built, where when he played the serial killer, where that film to me to this day still stays with me, because that was just you'd never imagined Matt Dillon doing a role like that. But that's what they're saying about this Ethan Hawke one, this Black Phone. It's supposed to be pretty full on. So that and when you think about the budget and the advertising for it, it's been pretty low key. It's not been like massive, but the buzz, people are talking about it.
Yeah, I think it'll do quite well in cinemas when it comes out.
He kind of looks like a modern day child catcher from Chitty Chitty Bang Bang.
You're right. You're right. Yes.
Like an 18 rated version of that.
Yeah.
That guy used to haunt me, man, when I was a child.
Yeah.
God.
Yeah. Oh. King of Collectibles says, "What's your favourite British film?"
Full Monty. Full Monty all day long. Yeah. One of the most quotable movies. Right.
I'm struggling because there's a couple that I really like. I think the Michael Caine film was the one. The name's gone now.
Is it Harry Brown?
Yes, that's it. I was going to say Michael Brown. Harry Brown is one of them films for me, man. That I freaking love that movie. Just that kind of idea of the kind of old disheveled man and taking on the youngsters and stuff, and the way it was shot was brilliant. So I would say Harry Brown for me, Michael Caine.
Good pick. Yeah, it's a great film. Mike?
Yeah, I'd have to go over comedy. So something like probably the Full Monty. I do think Trainspotting's a good one as well. Not quite a comedy, but still amazing movie.
Robert Carlyle's terrifying in that film.
Oh, big
He
man.
is.
Yeah.
He is. Oh.
Do not get on the wrong side of him.
No.
Don't spill his beer. Do not spill his beer.
Last.
For me, I'll probably say The Long Good Friday with Bob Hoskins. I just love that film.
Good film,
From
man.
the
Great
opening
music.
moments of it with that theme song playing out, it's just so good.
Yeah.
And then the ending as well. Oh, I loved it.
Oh, I would actually say also The Wild Geese. The Wild Geese is one of my favourite films as well. Roger Moore.
Yeah.
Richard
That's
Burton.
a good
I
film.
like that film as well. It's a classic.
Roger Moore's
Yeah.
so like he's so un-Roger Moore in that movie.
Yeah.
I think when I saw it,
Yeah.
I expected him to be just James Bond, but he's just not
Yeah.
at all.
Oh, it's with the drug dealer and the cocaine bit that shocked me. It's like, wow,
Yeah.
he did that.
Yeah.
Oh. Matt said probably would also raise Die Another Day also, lol. Yeah,
100%.
definitely.
Yeah.
It's got a good opening, but then it's downhill after that.
It's the surfing. It's not even the car. It's the surfing scene for me
Yeah.
that always gets me.
It's bad.
Yeah, it's a pretty bad film. We've got Christian saying, who is your favourite all-time actor?
I have two. Two are my go-to. Michael Keaton is one of them.
Yeah.
It probably is. It's Jack Nicholson, mainly because like my favorite movie in the entire world is The Departed. It's my number one favorite movie I've ever seen. I think Nicholson in that film is just unreal. So I would say it's either Keaton or Nicholson for me. I couldn't pick.
good picks, definitely. Andy?
Yeah, it's tough for me. Like I love Brando and I love Keaton. But there's one actor who I absolutely love, and whenever he's on in a movie, he's always given he gives 1,000,000,000% every movie and every performance he's in. Like even when he's only in a movie for 5 minutes, but I fucking love Tim Curry.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Fuck anything he's in, the movie's already better when he's on it. Like he just elevates. He can make a shit movie tolerable.
That's true.
Yeah. And anyone can do that. Is good in my books.
Yeah.
He's got a good screen presence on him.
Oh yeah, yeah. Like he's the best part about Home Alone 2.
Yeah.
That's the best part about it.
And he's the best devil. No one's played Satan like Tim Curry.
Yes.
No one has played Satan like Tim Curry gave me Well, hold on. Tim Curry gave me nightmares as a clown and Satan.
Yeah.
That's how good he is, man.
Yeah. He's just so good. I would have loved to have seen him as a Bond villain. Imagine
he would have been brilliant.
I would quite like him as the Joker.
Well, he was supposed to play the Joker in the animated series, but they sacked him because he was too scary.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
They got Mark Hamill in. Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Shocking. And what about you, Mike?
Yeah, Michael Keaton's definitely one of mine. I love him from Batman movies, Beetlejuice. He's just fantastic. Love Harrison Ford as well. He's one of my go-to actors. And after rewatching the Godfather movies, I forgot how much I love Al Pacino. He's just fantastic. Like I think Godfather 2, that's probably his best performance for me. Like he's just incredible in that movie. But I could say so many other people from the Godfather movies, just like that whole cast, just fantastic actors. But
fucking love James Caan in that movie.
Oh, yeah, funny man, he's so good.
When he sees his sister and he just fucking loses it. After everyone's so good.
Yeah.
Pacino's just he picks what I love about Pacino, man, the projects that he picked over the years, man, like Carlito's Way and Donnie Brasco. Like Carlito's Way, Scarface. Like Carlito's Way is one of them films. That ending still gets me to this day. Every time I watch it, man, I will shed a tear. Because the soundtrack with the strings, and you're like, this is just epic, man.
Yeah.
Epic.
Yeah.
He's done some good films. Heat. I love that.
Yeah. And Dog Day Afternoon. That's another.
When I watched that the other week, that was really good.
Yeah.
It starts off quite funny, but it develops into something way much more than you originally think. It's like a comedy the first half hour. I was laughing away, and then it slowly changes. It's such a good film.
I love the guy who plays his partner as well. He played Fredo in the Godfather movies. John Cazale, I think his name was. He was an amazing actor. He passed away way too soon.
Yeah, I heard that.
Every movie he was in was nominated for Best Picture. Like he was only in 5 movies.
Yeah.
Like they're all like amazing.
Yeah.
Like.
For me, best actor is quite hard. I do like, should I say, Robert De Niro. I also like Michael Caine, and I'll say Clint Eastwood as well.
Yeah.
They've all done really good films. Also Michael Keaton as well. I just loved him in Birdman. I thought he was fantastic in that. We got Lisa and Michelle says, did anyone watch Men at the cinema? Unfortunately, I missed it.
Not seen it yet.
I've not seen it. No, I want to see it. I love these kind of films. All these and I love all the A24 films.
Yeah.
I just they just leave a. I love a film that when I've turned it off and if I'm still thinking about it like an hour after, then I know it's all those A24s do that. Because I was flying out to my job a couple of weeks ago, and on the flight, Midsommar was on to me, and I've seen it before. But I was like, I'll watch it again, and I just like all of that kind of films that just play with your head and stuff. So, Men, I like Jesse Buckley, I like Rory Kinnear as well. So, I'm looking forward to seeing it.
Yeah. You planning on seeing it, Andy?
Yeah, I'll probably pick the Blu-ray up. But yeah, it's just, it's one of those movies that I just didn't feel because going to the cinema for me is like quite a strenuous task. Trying to find the time to go, and I was just like, I'll give this one a miss, but I'll pick it up on Blu-ray.
Yeah. Sounds good. And you, Mike, you plan on seeing it or picking it up?
I'll probably just pick it up when it comes out.
Yeah, that's the same here. I've heard some mixed things about it. It does look like a very interesting film, and you've got Rory Kinnear and Jessie Buckley there, two fantastic actors. So hopefully, it should be a good film.
Yeah.
Sub says it seems very preachy, man-hating film. So unfortunately, I'll give it a miss. You got the viewer Drew saying, "Hey, what's up?" Hey, Drew. The viewer Drew says, "What's your favourite movie of every year in the 2010s decade?" Oh,
God almighty.
I did separate videos on this, but I can't remember what I picked.
Yeah. Sadly, I can answer this sadly because I do have a list. Yeah. I mean, I'll rush through them very quickly. So from 2010 to 2020. So I saw The Devil, Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, The Hunt, Prisoners, Birdman, Fury Road, Train to Busan, Blade Runner 2049, Climax, Midsommar, Possessor.
Nice.
Good.
I'm going to say that for the first time, about 2 weeks ago, I saw the movie for the first time. I saw The Devil, and that film is absolutely fantastic, man.
Yeah.
What an amazing movie.
Love it,
and it's one of them ones that it's a meaty film. It's on for quite a bit. It's like 2.5 hours nearly, but it's one of those ones that the time just you're so engrossed in this story and it's quite hard. It's quite harsh. How
kind
it goes.
It kind of tears at your soul, doesn't it? That movie.
Yeah, man. Yeah. There's moments where you're sitting going, "Yes, this is it, man." Like the scene with the heel, like that bit. You're like, "This is it. This is going to be great." And then you're just like you say, your soul has been ripped away. You're like, "Why is this happening? Why is this happening?" So I saw The Devil the other day, but I haven't seen The Possessor. I quite like the look of that.
Yeah, I mean, there wasn't many movies from 2020, obviously because of COVID, that I could choose from, but that one did stand out to me from that year. Yeah, I did really like it.
Oh, that's good. Anybody else can pick every film for the 2010 decade? I think I'm going to bow out.
Yeah, I did a whole video of each year, so you can find my answers there. I can't remember them off the top of my head.
Yeah, I can't either.
I think there's only two for me. Law Abiding Citizen, which I remember really enjoying, and I quite liked Unhinged with Russell Crowe.
That's a lot of fun, that movie.
I enjoyed that.
It was like a more graphic falling down, just someone having a shitty day and not getting just because the way she spoke to him, and then that was it. So I quite enjoyed Unhinged.
Yeah. Russell Crowe, that was unbelievable. That was just a fun 90-minute film. It was like one of the big first films that come to the cinemas after they reopened.
Yeah,
wasn't it?
That's why I remember it as well. It was like one of the ones where after pandemic, and it done really well because of that. It was, it like made a lot of money like over its budget because people were just like they couldn't care what they were going to see. Like just get me in a cinema. So it kind of fell favorably.
Yeah. Matt says, "Love the Feet" does Tarantino.
Sure does.
Yeah.
Yep. Carla says, "Tarantino, for as good as he is, I would love to see him direct a movie where he doesn't use any ideas from past movies from different genres and paying homage to these genres and do something of his own work."
I get that. Yeah.
I feel like he did kind of start out like that. Like I think Pulp Fiction, Reservoir Dogs feel quite original, but I get what he's saying about some of his later stuff.
I would like to see him do the Star Trek project.
Yeah.
I'd love to see him do something like along the lines of a franchise that's maybe, already got the following and putting his spin on it, especially sci-fi, which could be really hit or miss for big directors. It doesn't matter what name you are. Sci-fi can really bury you. So I think his I just can imagine his Star Trek being really graphic. Really
Yeah,
yeah.
like Kirk just dropping a couple of F-bombs, man, on the Enterprise, and just I could just imagine that, man. So yeah, I would love to see that.
Yeah, that would be a lot of fun if he did that. Look at Doctor Impossible says to Carlos, totally agree. We've got Bristolian Dave here saying, all right, me babbers. All right, Dave. Thanks for joining. He also says, who's excited for the Barbie movie? Gonna get my tickets booked when it up for pre-order. We've got Radley Stark here saying, evening guys, hope you're well. Any thoughts on favourite horror franchises? Saw just edges it for me.
I'm going to go old school. I'm a Nightmare on Elm Street guy. So I would definitely say the Freddy movies, 3, 4, and A New Nightmare are my. With the first one, of course, but 3 Dream Warriors and the 4th one, and then of course A New Nightmare, which I think is still to this day one of the greatest ideas for a film.
Yeah,
the whole kind of breaking the fourth wall thing, and the look of Freddy Krueger in that film was just brilliant. The scene when he's coming through the bed, the sheets and stuff, it's just amazing. So I would go with the old school. I'd go with the Robert Englund Nightmare on Elm Street franchise, not the Jack Girl Haley. No chance.
Yeah. Andy?
Yeah, that's a tough one for me because I grew up on all them slasher movies. Probably going to say like the first half of Romero's Dead movies.
Yeah.
They scared the shit out of me as a kid.
Yeah.
But yeah, I the first one is Night of the Living Dead is great. That movie still holds up in my opinion, especially with its ending. To have the balls to do what that movie does. The pacing of the second one is phenomenal. It's one of the best movies to watch just because of its characters. And the third one is Tom Savini's masterpiece in terms of gore. It's stunning to look at. Yeah, I just love those first 3 movies.
Very good pick. What about you, Mike?
I'm going to go with the Phantasm movies. I absolutely love them, and I think they don't get enough credit. I just love that first movie. It's so weird and unusual.
It is a very odd film.
Yeah, but I love it nonetheless, and the sequels are just so much fun. I just love them. And yeah, I do love Nightmare on Elm Street as well, and Friday the 13th. I have a lot of fun with. The Halloween franchise is probably my least favorite because I think I don't really like that many films from it, but Nightmare on Elm Street and Friday the 13th are great as well.
Yeah.
I just got the Phantasm 4K box set a couple of weeks ago, man, and they look amazing. I mean, the second one's my favorite. I think Phantasm 2 is my favorite, but I totally agree. They're just so weird, wacky, and so just out there, man. The first film especially. I mean, if you were to watch that, just without going in not knowing anything what you're about to watch, it is the biggest mind F.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
You just don't know what's happening. The ball turns up for like 10 minutes, then it disappears. Angus Scrim is just amazing as the tall man.
In that.
But yeah, I totally agree with the Phantasm as well.
Yeah, I just think that first movie, I think the first time I saw it, I liked it, but it was a bit of a strange one. But I just think it gets better every time I watch it.
Yeah. I've watched the first one, really enjoyed it. It's definitely very much out there, but I've heard the second one, as you guys said, is really good. So I might have to pick up the box set of it. But for me, favourite horror franchise, I'm probably just going to say Nightmare on Elm Street. They're the ones that I've most recently gone through for the first time and pretty much enjoyed most of them, bar the 5 and 6.
So I think 2 gets a lot of shit. I don't mind 2.
I like 2.
Right.
I think it gets a lot. I think it's the whole kind of the homosexual erotic scenes.
Yeah.
That people just can't. I think probably at the time it was so out there that I just kind of got the bad, thing. But watching it again, I love it, man. Like the whole scene when Freddy's trying to come out of the body and stuff for its time, it was so good.
Yeah,
I think it's probably like the scariest of the Nightmare on Elm Street movies. I think Freddy is he is terrifying in that movie, and he's cruel. And that scene when he comes out of Jesse's body and then he goes up to Grady in his bedroom, that scene is incredible, and it does not get enough love. No. It's an amazing scene.
And I think as well, that was when England, them first two films, he was still the kind of the horror, he was still the scary Freddy. Whereas when 3 came along, he started to become the pop culture icon that he was. He was he was more a villain, whereas in the first two, he really was the evil that you were scared of, but then you kind of just grown in love. You wanted him to win more than anybody else. I think the second one is so scary.
Yeah. Definitely a very underrated film.
Yeah.
That's true. Carlos said to Dr. Impossible, he's done film after film this fashion of work, Tarantino. A movie of his own would really test him as a great director like Spielberg done Schindler's List. Yeah. We've got King of Collectibles saying, who's the best current actor?
That's easy for me. It's got to be Leo. I know it's a bit cliche, but just Leo. Over the last 10 years, the stuff that he's done from like Revenant, Departed, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, just Wolf of Wall Street. Yeah, I think for me, Leo is my favorite current actor.
Yeah. Andy?
Probably Jake Gyllenhaal. Fucking love Nightcrawler, man. Fucking love that movie. Nightcrawler and Prisoners.
Prisoners.
Yeah.
Great film.
Yeah.
That's when Paul Dano's performance in that is another one. He's another great actor, man. He's so good in that film.
Yeah, because he was like the first movie where I discovered him was There'll Be Blood.
Yeah, that's right.
He was just amazing in that film. And I think I saw him in Little Miss Sunshine and even the Beach Boys movie, Love and Mercy. He played the young Brian Wilson in that. And I thought that was a cracking film. And then obviously as Riddler as well, and he's such a little shit in 12 Years to Live.
Oh god, yeah.
But Looper as well. But
every time people say There Will Be Blood, the first image that comes to my head is that scene with him getting beaten the shit out of that is the first image I have, and it's just such an impactful scene out of nowhere.
Mike?
I might say someone like Florence Pugh or something. I know she's still quite young, but I think she's going places, and she's I think she's really good. And I'd even maybe say someone like Robert Pattinson, because I know obviously he had the Twilight days, but I think he's getting better and better now with the movies he's making.
Yeah. I'm going to have to agree with you there on Robert Pattinson. I think a lot of people give him a lot of crap for the Twilight films, but as he's done good trying to shy away from that now, most recently with some films like Tenet, I thought he was great in that.
Good Time if you've seen Good Time.
Time's great. Yeah.
He's really good.
Yeah. The Lighthouse.
Yeah. And I also do think of what's her name now? Jessie Buckley. She's quite a good actress, and again, she's up and coming. She was in a film called Beast, and that's one of the best British films in years. It's so good.
Yeah.
We've got Gary, the Blu-ray addict, here, saying hello all. Hey, Gary.
Hey, Gary.
AJ says never got beyond that first Harry Potter. That was enough for me. Yeah. AJ says, Soph, your uncle, is that a positive thing or not? Radley says, hey AJ, never watched any Harry Potter movies. The books were so bad they were written by a child. Dr. Impossible says, isn't Tarantino retired? Problem is, it's hard coming up with something truly original when you can be influenced pinch from others like Tarantino. Reservoir Dogs is still pretty decent.
He's supposed to be doing a Kill Bill 3, isn't he?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I've
there's
heard
talk.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know he's still got another one coming out or whatever, which is Kill Bill 3, but I don't think he's retired just yet.
No.
I think he said he was going to do 10 movies, didn't he, and then retire. And I think the
Yeah.
next movie is his 10th, but not sure if it's true or not.
Yeah, because he counts the 2 Kill Bills as one, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Seb says, AJ, it's kind of spooky. Haha, and AJ finds it funny. Cara says, wait, what? Tarantino is what? It all makes sense now.
Wow.
Wow.
Harsh.
AJ says, we all have our doubles, apparently. AJ says, hello, back with Frozen 1. Apologies, missed your message. Stepped out to water the garden. Ooh. Edward says, what did you all make of Jurassic World Dominion?
Meh. So.
Yeah. Be sure to check out Jason's review, Jason's Brett review. That's really good. Really good.
Yeah.
We've got Brett here from Walk On Always Believe. Watch you guys. Hope you're all well. Hey, Brett. Hope you're well.
Hey, Brett.
Carla says, Pulp Fiction's still my personal favourite Tarantino movie, but Tarantino on screen turns me off a little as he tries to be cool when he isn't for me.
There's one scene from that movie I absolutely hate. And to me, it just slows the pacing of the movie down completely.
Yeah.
It's the scene where Bruce Willis is in the cab.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It pisses me off, that scene, so much. It just doesn't add anything to the movie. It just you take that scene out, and it's still a perfect movie. It just slows the pacing down so much.
Yeah, I think I've seen that movie like at least 20 times, but I've probably only watched that scene maybe twice. I think when I was younger, I always used to fast forward it.
It drags, man. It just drags the movie down, that scene.
Yeah. David Beach says, what's your favourite Mel Gibson film?
It's easy for me. It's Braveheart, 100%.
Yeah.
Probably the greatest movie, the best Scottish Australian that represented our country. So I'd probably. It's really funny because when Braveheart came out, the year it came out, I was actually visiting family in Ireland, and the night of the premiere that came out, my parents went and saw it with my Irish relatives, and when they came back, it was as if like they'd like formed this like little team against the world, man. They hated every other country. It was like, but the Irish and the Scottish are like, oh, we're like brothers and stuff. And I remember the first time I saw it, it was the most amazing thing. But what really offended Scottish people, and I don't know if you know this, in Stirling, where the Battle of Bannockburn is, the main battle, in the actual place Stirling, they have a monument for Wallace, and like they have the sword and everything. But when you go there, it's a monument of Mel Gibson. So it's basically him, and it's William Wallace, because they thought that tourists, when they come to visit, would understand it more because there's an Australian guy standing there with a sword and not the actual depiction of William Wallace, who was like 6'4" as well. But I suppose Hollywood needs to change things. But I would say that Braveheart for me, but Ransom coming in at a close second. Give me back my son. Best part, man. So they're my favourites.
Good picks. What about you, Andy?
Yeah, this is funny, you know, because I actually had like Mel Gibson came up in a discussion about in work the other day. We were just talking about like best like Mel Gibson movies. But I'd say, right, first off, as a director, Hacksaw Ridge, fucking amazing.
Yeah.
But yeah, for me, fucking Lethal Weapon.
Yeah.
Lethal Weapon, Maverick, Mad Max 2, Payback's great. The Patriot. There's so many, but the Lethal Weapon movies, I have a blast with them.
Yeah.
Just put all 4 of them on. Yeah, It just flows like one giant big movie. It's just love Lethal Weapon.
If you had to pick a favorite, what would your favorite be? Would a Lethal
Out of
Weapon?
Probably one.
Right.
Probably one. That's not to discredit. I think 1 and 2 are probably the best, and 3 and 4 are good. But one's got Gary Busey.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I like the villains in 2 because they're dead slimy and they're just horrible. They've got like diplomatic community and all that shit. But one for me is awesome. Just love the.
I agree.
And Patsy Kensit as well, man.
Patsy Kensit, yeah.
Some people forget that Patsy Kensit got her clothes off in that movie, man. That was fantastic.
Yeah, but 3 as well. 3 has got one of probably the most profound scenes in action movies ever, where it's Danny Glover kills his son's friend.
Yeah.
That's heavy, that scene. Oh, it's heavy where he has to go to the funeral. And the dad says, if you want to help, catch the guy who put the gun in my son's hand. It's so good. So good.
I think three for me, my favorite scene is Joe Pesci on the ice. That's just one of the great scenes, man. And I think that's the point where Joe Pesci's character got to that point where, you know, like he was the comedy relief, you know, and he was there. But then what I loved was the fact that then that scene he had in the last film, that really emotional scene he had with him.
Yeah.
And that really just, it brought the character of Leo like full circle. It's like fully, you know, you just always thought him as the comedy relief. But that scene, man, with in the last film, man, was one of my favorites.
Yeah, definitely. What about you, Mike?
Yeah, so he's not one of my favorite actors, but he has made some absolutely brilliant movies, and I love the first Mad Max movie. I mean, I like the second one as well, but there's something about that first one. I love all the Lethal Weapons. I like The Patriot. I think it's quite underrated. Signs as well. I think Signs is great.
Signs, yeah.
Yeah, it gets a lot of hate, and I don't know. I just love it. But I'd like to give a shout out as well to that Apocalypto that he directed.
Yeah.
That movie was amazing. I'd only just watched it for the first time quite recently, and I loved it.
He also directed, was it Passion of the Christ as well?
Yeah.
I think so.
Which, again, I remember watching that and being blown away with, you know, again, he does these films with like different languages and, you know, there are all these dead languages that no one uses anymore, and just amazing. And I think that's as well why I love him in Braveheart, because he directed it as well.
Yeah.
So the fact that, do you know what I mean? That was just amazing. But yeah, I like Apocalypto.
He killed it with Braveheart. And the Oscars proved that.
Yeah, it was a great film. I do agree. It's probably be that, The Patriot, or Mad Max 2. Mad Max 2 is my favourite one of the Mad Max franchise. It's just so good. We've got AJ saying, Edward, Dominion was very contrived. Bumpus Movie says, Bloodfather and Boss Levels were both good recent movies from Mel Gibson. Quite like him as an actor these days.
I've just ordered the 4K for Boss Level. They've released a 4K.
Oh,
So I just ordered that.
Oh, cool. I haven't seen it yet, but I've heard some positive things about that one.
I actually didn't mind Daddy's Home too. I thought that was all right. I thought it was all right in that.
I liked them also Conspiracy Theory with Julia Roberts.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Another one.
That's a good film.
Yeah.
Just got the light on. Oh.
Was Bloodfather the one he was in? Was it Mexico?
Yeah, I think
it rings a bell.
It was.
So.
Yeah.
It was the one who was like in Mexico and he was getting beat up and he was trying to save his daughter or something.
I
I think that was it.
Bradley says Tarantino was really good in From Dusk Till Dawn.
Oh, he's a little shit in that movie.
Yeah.
Stand out still Salma Hayek.
Yeah.
But see, that's what I love about that film is like we don't get a lot of films like that now because of the internet. Because the internet, like you know what's going to happen. I remember the first time seeing that film. I sat and watched it with my dad, and my dad knew it was coming. He'd seen it before, and he said that when he watched it, all he did for that part was watch my reaction. And I was just sitting there, and I just remember out of nowhere, man, just vampires. It's like this is the greatest film ever.
Yeah.
It is like watching half a movie and then switching channel and watching something else. That's exactly what it's like.
Absolutely. Peter says, I would say Predator is past it, but I do like Predator 2, though. Yeah. Carla said to Bradley, he was okay in From Dusk Till Dawn, but I don't know what it is. But when he pops up, I cringe a little, like in Django Unchained.
His accent in Django was horrific.
It's Australian.
Yeah.
Yeah. Bradley says to Sophie he's looking forward to The Black Phone. That's his type of film. Yeah, it does look good. Dr. Impossible says Spielberg hasn't really challenged himself that much. He was going to direct Neapolitan, but I think he's developing a Neapolitan as a TV series. All of the material came from the Kubrick's back archives.
Interesting.
Very interesting.
Yeah, because Kubrick was meant to make a film on Napoleon, Jack Nicholson, but it got cancelled for some reason. Yeah.
Oh, that's quite cool. So it says Black Phone looks super creepy. We've got wait a minute. Just gotta put the user in timeout. And gotta put another user out in timeout. My days. Right, here we go. Bradley said to Carlos, I know what you mean, a bit like when Stephen King made a cameo in his movie. Seems like an ego trip, though I like his moments, though. And Bradley has high hopes for The Black Phone. Yeah, it does look really good. Peter says, just texted Ryan. He's coming on the stream to sing Hour of the Night. Dr. Impossible says, Prey looks total shit. It's Predator, but set with native Indian speaking with modern American, but it's made by Fox and Disney. What do you expect? A U-graded family-orientated family adventure? Well, I'm pretty certain Disney after this has commissioned like a Learn with Predator series for Disney Plus, so like kids can learn how to spell with Predator. We've got Peter here saying Coro. Got Winslow here. Hey Winslow.
Hey Winslow.
We've got the 4K lowdown here saying, what's up guys, Pete, Andy, Mike, good to see you and nice to meet you, Mancave Movies. Thanks
Nice
for joining,
mate.
Carlos says we need the Rocky IV director's cut on Blu-ray and 4K. It would be great to own it as it's an extra 40 minutes extra. Any of you guys seen it? Yeah, it really does need a 4K cut.
I'd love a 4K. I'd love a 4K of it, yeah.
Yeah.
Have you seen the director's cut? Or not?
Not seen it yet.
Have not seen it yet. But I just think with a 4K cut, I could imagine the soundtrack with Dolby Atmos just being unreal. I might just have to set up a gym down here, man, and work out to it because it'd be the most amazing thing ever. But yeah, I really want to see it.
Yeah, because it's only available streaming, but you've seen it, Mike. What do you think of it?
I think it was an interesting watch because I'm like a huge fan of Rocky IV, so I was more just curious to watch it. And the extra scenes are they're pretty cool, but I'd still probably just stick to the original. I think this new cut, it kind of takes all, not the fun out of it, but it makes it more serious. Yeah. Because like the robot's gone. A lot of the sort of the comical elements from the film are gone. It's a lot more serious, but yeah, it's an interesting watch.
Yeah, I agree with you there. It's a solid one, but I prefer the previous one.
Yeah,
it's just like it's more fun, it's more enjoyable. This one's Probably, I'd say a better made film because it's more serious in tone and with what happens in the movie, but nothing can
Yeah.
beat the original.
Yeah.
Have you seen it, Andy?
Not the director's cut, no.
No.
No. Only seen the original.
We've got Cora shouting out to Peter. Peter saying, "Yes, I'm here. It's for real. It's really me. And we've missed you, Peter." Radley says that sound in silence sounds fake to me. Where's the real one? And Peter doesn't seem very happy as we're not talking about porn. No, it's a real one, all right. And Peter's just sitting there smiling. Radley says, Cora, he has to say something the only real Stan would know. Unless he's a she. Oh, I'll better shut up. Carlos says, speaking of Rambo, Pete's got the John Rambo hair. You just need to catch. Oh, fair enough. I'm always getting told that I look like loads of people. This is just one in a long line of it. I mean, this one's way better than being told I look like Gautier the other day. Oh. Edward says, what's your favourite Lakers studio movie? I have no idea what these are.
Might have to look this up.
Yeah.
I am. And all. I'm just thinking they're an animated studio. They might not be, but that's Lake Studios.
Oh yeah, they do a lot of stuff like the box trolls, Paranorman.
Ah.
Corpse
right,
Bride.
okay.
Oh, Corpse Bride was pretty good.
Oh, that's what sort of claymation? Yeah, they're great.
Yeah.
Coraline. I'd
Oh,
say
yeah.
Coraline. Great
Kubo
film.
with the two
as well.
strings.
Kubo, yeah.
Kubo, yeah, Kubo's.
That was
Still
good. I
need to
like
see
that.
that one.
Yeah.
Yeah. What about you, Mike?
Probably Corpse Bride. I think that's probably
Oh.
one of Tim Burton's better, like, recent movies.
Yeah, I do agree there. Cora says, Radley, just ask him something about a naughty movie and that'll be your proof. Peter says, Radley, I'm a full-grown man. Radley, Stan, who's your favourite actor in Fireside Lesbians? We're getting to know more about the very eclectic movies here. Radley says, panel Freddy, Jason, Leatherface, and Pinhead get into a giant ruck. Who wins?
Probably Jason.
Jason, I'd probably say Jason.
I
Yeah.
would say Jason as well.
Yeah.
Leatherface are probably the first to go.
Yeah.
Or Pinhead, because he never seems to last long in the films.
Yeah. You just be Freddy and Jason again, I think.
Yeah. Carlos says, anyone getting the Heat 4K upgrade? All my all-time favourite movies are worth a 4K upgrade, in my opinion. That's the favourite movies. I stick with the Blu-ray.
Yeah, it's kind of the way I work as well. If it's something, I'll upgrade it to 4K, but if not, I'll just go with the Blu-ray. I am because I just recently upgraded. I got the Dog Soldiers 4K release. It just I always go that extra mile for something that's I'm like I really want to see what it looks like. But yeah, definitely for Heat. Heat is just I think Heat's like a masterpiece. It really is.
Yeah.
The whole thing and the scene between De Niro and Pacino and the coffee shop, amazing.
Oh, superb. Yeah. Andy, are you going to upgrade?
Probably not. As much as I love the film, maybe get it in 4K when it probably gets a bit cheaper, just because I am quite happy with the Blu-ray. But maybe get the 4K a bit further down the line. I'm only really upgrading to 4K if I've got the movie on DVD, because to me the difference between Blu-ray and 4K, yeah, you can see it, but it's not. It's not that big of a leap for me.
Yeah.
But yeah, I might get it at some point. It's a phenomenal movie. It's just the whole
definitely is.
It's great. Yeah.
What about you, Mike?
Yeah, it's one of my top 5 movies. So yeah, I'm probably gonna have to pick it up. If they do it, I have a feeling they'll probably do like, you know, a collector's edition one, like they tend to do, like with the Untouchables. I think they did recently.
Yeah.
So I'll probably end up getting something like that. The only slight thing, well, I don't know if this is true, but I've read reports that there's not going to be Dolby Atmos on this 4K upgrade. Which,
Really?
if that's true, I think
Oh,
that's a bit of a
wow.
shame, because
That
that
is.
movie would, like, just that shootout scene alone would be
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
amazing. But I don't know if that's true or not, but that's just some reports I've read. But if the picture quality is like improved, then yeah, I'll definitely still get it for that.
Oh. When does it come out? Later this year?
August?
Yeah, it's pretty soon actually. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
it's not too bad. I know there's like a steelbook popped up on Zavi.
Yeah.
I've just recently got the Blu-ray, so I'm pretty happy with the Blu-ray. Might get the 4K later on down the line when it's a bit cheaper, but the Blu-ray still looks really good.
Val Kilmer looks awesome.
Oh, he's
Val
fantastic
Kilmer
in
just
that
looks
film.
absolutely awesome in that film. That's when he was just at the peak,
Yeah.
man. Of like I think he just came off of Tombstone,
Ooh, yeah.
and just amazing.
John Voight's mullet in that movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was going, and that was a point as well when he was going through like a phase again where he was starting to put like Mission Impossible, Tomb Raider, like kind of mid to late 90s. He was like, John Voight was your everyman.
Yeah. Anaconda.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Bumper says, people think superhero movies started with the MCU. Yes, those movies are great, but DC got Superman and previous Batman movies in the bank. That is very true.
Yeah.
Yep.
Pete says, I mostly own just about 20 Vinegar Syndrome porn releases so far and not much else. Fair enough.
Nice.
Carl says, that's easy, Pinhead wins. Yeah. Radley says, Carl, I agree, he'll be chucking Cenobites at a lot of them. Peter says, Bumpers, there's a bunch of old films and TV series that Marvel stuff has done too.
Oh God, yeah. Captain America.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
There's one on Amazon right now, man. The Fantastic Four. The one that they tried to make back. There's a documentary about it.
Oh, that's dreadful.
It's horrific.
Like pipe cleaner arms and it's like fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
so good.
Bumpers says, yeah, I agree. It's just that when people debate Marvel v DC, they only want to talk about DC's poor filmography from recent years. Yeah, I agree there. They do like to talk about it. But I think DC is now coming on the up as like Marvel's just going... They're sticking to a same template, and it's a time they've got to spice things up, I think Marvel have.
I think they just felt threatened that they had to... Everybody had to try and have this kind of continuous universe. We had to have everything in the same universe. That's the way movies work better now because we can relate to things. But it just shows you that you can't if you've not got the characters and you don't have that material. The way that DC tried to go light, they tried to go that kind of popcorn look and stuff. And don't get me wrong, it worked. I thought it worked with Aquaman. I thought Aquaman with James Wan was pretty good.
That was good.
But yeah, just having all this connected stuff just didn't do it for me. And then you start to find out the one that I'm looking forward to the most is the new Flash film out of all of them, with Keaton and being in that film as well as Batman. So
yeah,
it'll be really interesting to see what they do with that.
I agree. Bumper says, and Superman is fucking awesome, and Superman 2.
Oh, Superman 2.
Yeah. So good.
Terrence Stamp. So good.
Oh, yeah.
It's one scenery chewing actor. That's
yes.
I agree.
He was in that, was it Last Night in Soho recently?
Yeah.
And even in that, man, he just ate up the whole entire scene. Yeah. So good.
It's that scene in Superman 2 where he's talking to the president. And he's just like, I see you worship things that fly. He's like, good.
Oh, wow.
And he's like, oh, God. And he's like, Zod.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We've got Keith here from Euphoria Pictures. Hello to Pete, Andy, and Mike, and a huge greetings to Chris. Great to see you on Pete's stream, and thank you again for the shout out you gave me on the other day. Hope you're all well. Thanks for joining.
You're
Keith.
welcome. You're welcome, Keith.
Hope you're doing well, mate.
Yeah. Radley saying hi to Keith. Peter says movies doesn't have to be compared to each other so hard all the time. I feel like people doing these streams just want to compare and list things. That's not how you enjoy a good film. Yeah, no, yeah. And Cora says, amen. Radley says, favourite disaster movie? Probably still The Tower and Inferno.
I'm going to go with, it's cliche, but I'm going to go with Armageddon, man. Armageddon for me. I freaking love that film. It's a guilty pleasure. It's a guilty pleasure. Just so many great moments. So many, the talent on screen is just phenomenal. And the soundtrack with Aerosmith.
Yeah.
Oh,
So I would,
yeah.
I'm going to go with it still cuts me up, man. The whole Ben Affleck and Bruce Willis scene at the end still cuts me, man. And this cuts me even more. I watched it recently, actually. I watched it, I think it was like a couple of months ago, but it was just whenever they revealed about Bruce's, how he's suffering now. And he just, then I went into the film watching it with them eyes, and I'm like, oh my God, Bruce, I miss you so much. This is when you were just at your peak. This was it, man. So yeah, I really enjoy that film, Armageddon.
Yeah, great film. Andy?
I'm probably gonna have to go with Titanic and Daylight. Right.
Daylight, nice.
Yeah. Yeah.
I know Titanic's probably like the easy option to go to, but I just love the second half of that movie when the ship just starts to sink. You feel it, like it just feels like helpless, like there's nowhere to go. But Daylight, I just kind of like the characters in that movie, as horrible as they are to Sylvester Stallone, because all he's trying to do is help them, and they just want to give him shit. But I can't. It's the scene with the dog. Like I just thought, they're like, let's go, and then the dog comes in, and he saves the dog. Oh
yeah, definitely.
Yeah, it's a cracking little film.
It's funny they don't show Titanic on the ship. So we don't watch that on the ships.
No.
It's one of them kind of, it's one of them no goes. Don't put it on, man.
No.
Don't watch it.
Mike?
I'd have to say Daylight as well. It's a great little film, very, very underrated. And Towering Inferno, like of the classic era for me as well. Yeah.
Yeah. Again, with like Andy saying, I'll probably say Titanic, but I also quite like Twister as well. Would you class Twister as a disaster film?
Yeah.
I'd also say at push, Day After Tomorrow.
Yeah.
Jake Gyllenhaal, man, I quite liked it, man.
Yeah. I thought that was a pretty good film. Peter says Tower Inferno.
I like the effects in 2012. As stupid as that movie is, the CGI in it's pretty good. Like it does look visually, it looks great, but it's just a stupid movie.
I feel that way about San Andreas.
Yeah,
The Rock.
Yeah.
Oh my God, there is so many scenes in that film where it's like, how are you doing this? How is this physically possible? I get it that we're watching the movie, but just there's some scenes in that film where I'm just like, nah, I can't watch this.
Yeah, I get that with the San Andreas. It's a fun enough film, but it's way over the top. Got Radley saying, I haven't seen Twister, so I'll watch this though. Oh, it's a great fun film.
Great film.
Carla says, I agree with Andy. First Blood and Terminator above 10 out of 10 films, but Arnie as the bad guy, total badass, and the stalking Sarah Connor scene in the club in slow-mo wins it for me.
Yeah, Michael Biehn at the bar. He just locks up.
Oh, yeah.
So good.
Dr. Impossible says, Meteor for me, just the combination of shit acting, dodgy special effects, and rolling memes over the top direction makes this tacky watch of a disaster film. Bab says, anyone remembers the old disaster movie about a rugby team that crashed into the mountains alive?
Alive, yeah.
Yeah,
That's a
Haven't
great
seen
film.
that.
I love that film.
Ethan
Yeah.
Hawke again, isn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a tough watch, that movie.
Yeah,
like
That's
but
a
it's
really
so
good one.
good. It's
Is
a-
that got a blue?
That's
Is that got a Blu-ray release? Alive. It must.
I'm not sure.
I don't know.
God, I'm gonna have to look because I quite like that film.
Yeah,
This is the first time I've heard of this one. Wow.
it's the cannibal scenes in it that really
Yeah.
got me. Like it's really like horrible. Like when they had decide like we're gonna have to eat them because to stay alive because and then like you care about the characters as it goes along. Like when they die, it's just horrible. Like even when the I think like with the crash and it like pins people, it's like it's just horrible. Like the way the seats come out.
Yeah.
But it's a cracking little film.
It's only got a DVD release, man. It hasn't got a Blu-ray.
It sucks.
Gutted. It's a shame, man.
Oh, that sounds good. I'm going to have to keep an eye out for that one. I've never honestly heard of this one, so very
It
intrigued.
was about 1993.
Yeah,
really?
early 90s, yeah. And the effects were really good as well for the time. Looks really, really good.
We've got the viewer Drew says, tell me if you agree with this comment. Logan's the best movie of 2017. Mission Impossible Fallout is the best of 2018, and Joker is the best of 2019.
Definitely contenders. I preferred Parasite over Joker, but they're definitely contenders there. Yeah.
Fallout was fantastic, man. Fallout was really good.
Yeah, I agree with him about Fallout. Oh, that was definitely the best film of 2018, but Parasite for me for 2019. But they're all top 5 films of the year, I would imagine.
They're all worthy of it, you know.
Yeah.
They deserve to be in the conversation.
Definitely. We've got Paul here from Mancave Movies saying what about Touching the Void?
That's good. Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard of that one before. That's supposed to be pretty good. Isn't that an early 2000s film?
Yeah, it's almost not really a film. It's kind of like a documentary, but but it is probably more a film than a documentary. It's kind of hard to explain, but it's pretty good.
Yeah. Paul continues, I really like Avarice as a kind of disaster movie, plus Greenland wasn't too bad. I enjoyed Greenland.
I like Greenland.
Yeah. That was surprisingly good. The whole sort of like what happened when he got the call and all the people who live around him. I just like that sort of whole aspect of it. It seemed kind of grounded, even though it did get ridiculous near in the end. It was good.
Yeah, I liked his relationship with Marina back in his cat, like the fact that they were going through a divorce and stuff, and it was quite good, quite real. Especially that's the scene with the when she's in the car with the kids, and she died. That was brutal, really brutal scene.
It was.
But yeah, I quite like Greenland.
I think they're doing a sequel as well, I've heard, which is good. We've got Dr. Impossible saying Vertical Limit was tastefully done. Martin Campbell is one hell of a solid action director, from the BBC's Edge of Darkness to Casino Royale, quality action director.
Yeah, Vertical Limit's good film.
Yeah. The opening to Vertical Limit's great.
Yeah.
Is that Chris O'Donnell?
Yeah.
Bill Paxton.
Yeah.
Peter says, viewer ask guy with the Logan avatar. Edward says, what's your thoughts on Spider-Man No Way Home extended cut, and will it get a better Blu-ray release? I wonder whether it will, because the bare bones release we got, it does make me think like with this extended edition, we'll get the lavish edition that we've been wanting for quite a while. It's apparently like 3 hours long, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's a bit cheeky if they're like releasing it later on. Like, why couldn't they just release it at the same time when they originally released it?
Yeah.
I kind of think Paul's got it right here. He does say it's like a cash cow release. And
it is.
Yeah, he's right.
Yeah.
It's like DLC, but for films.
Yeah.
But it's one of those movies where I think they know that people are going to want to see more in that movie. Yeah. So I think they know that people will get it.
They could just re-release it with one scene and people would go and rush to the cinema for it.
Yeah.
But we moan about it, but we'll probably still go and see it or pick up the Blu-ray when it comes out, if it does come out.
Double dip.
Yeah. Bradley says to Magpie, Everest is probably more a survival film than disaster. And he says it's based on the Everest disaster, though. Yeah.
Mhm.
Bradley says yes, definitely at least a sub-genre of disaster. And Bradley says, I watched it when I went on my Jake Gyllenhaal movie spree. Yeah, he's a great actor.
Yeah.
Talking to Jake Gyllenhaal, Paul says, have we all seen Ambulance? I went in with such low expectations and absolutely loved it.
I've heard really good things about it, actually. I'm kind of on the fence with that. I was thinking about maybe downloading it and watching, but I might pick it up on Blu-ray.
Yeah, it's coming out next month, I think, or end of this month. It's coming very soon.
Mm-hmm.
But I've heard some pretty solid things about it. I've heard that it's a pretty solid Michael Bay film. There's a lot to do with it with drones and all that, but I'm definitely going to give it a go. I'll probably either watch it online or pick up the Blu-ray. Andy, have you seen it?
Yeah, I've not seen it, but the thing that puts me off is that it's Michael Bay. But I'm just gonna have to. I've heard good things about it, so I probably will pick it up on Blu-ray and give it a watch. But like Mancave Movies was saying, I'm just gonna go in with it with low expectations.
Yeah,
that's the best way to go into it, and just because you probably get more out of it.
Enjoy it.
Absolutely. And Mike, have you seen it?
No, I've not seen it, and like Andy, the Michael Bay connection kind of puts me off. I will just say that there's another movie called The Ambulance from the early 90s. I don't know if you guys have seen it, but it's basically about a serial killer that drives around New York in an ambulance, and it's got Eric Roberts and James Earl Jones in it, and
it sounds amazing.
It's fun. So I think I'd rather watch that movie than this new Ambulance movie.
I bet you Eric Roberts has been getting messages for the last couple of months. Seen your film, man. It's great. It's wrong ambulance. It's wrong ambulance, but thank you.
We've got 4K Lowdown says, along with Day After Tomorrow. Radley says to 4K Lowdown, yes, that was in the mix. Very good film, as was Everest. Night Watcher is another level, though. Just amazing.
Great film.
Gary says, good evening, everyone. Hey, Gary.
Evening, Gary.
Hey, Gary.
And Radley means Nightcrawler.
Oh, yeah. Another Bill Paxton movie as well.
Oh, yeah. He's in that. Dr. Impossible says Nicholson in The Pledge was a very good performance. Film doesn't get mentioned much.
I think it's because of the material. I think it was so dark for Nicholson to do something like that. But it was a bit like that other film as well that Kevin Bacon did about the paedophile.
Woodsman.
Woodsman. It was same idea. Like it didn't get the mention that it should have, and I think it's just because of the source material. But yeah, Nicholson in The Pledge is brilliant.
We have 4K Lowdown says The Bubble Boy.
I'm sure I saw that in Poundland.
That's a weird movie. It's got Fabio in.
Yeah.
Andy says something about Vader today.
Oh, I haven't seen it yet.
Nor have I.
Yeah, I watched it before.
Pete says, could we get back to discussing how these methods holding these streams are way too much into comparing and listening films? I felt we left that topic way too fast. Gary says, I saw The Devil, it's great. Awesome. Bradley says, you must realise most movie streamers get the most views from ranking videos. People watch them, ignore them immediately, type all their favourite because, that's what we really want to know, lol. Dr. Impossible says, and Pacino was great playing a drug dealer in Panic in Needle Park. Early performance, but still strong. Yeah.
I love Cruising. I've seen that. That's You know, I think that was directed that was William Friedkin, wasn't it?
Freaking yeah.
Yeah. Right. Next up, we've got David Beach saying, my favourite film was Quadrophenia. Very good acting and very good accent. Yeah, Quadrophenia is great.
Good movie.
Sting and Toya Wilcox.
The mopeds.
Pretty much the cast from Bill.
That's true. That's true. We've got Josh here from Classic Tunes saying, hey guys. Hey Josh.
Josh.
Peter says, Bradley, I get your point, but I'm trying to grow a rift here between these streamers and us commenters. Radley says, thanks for the comments, guys. Mike, I've never seen Phantasm. You have convinced me to watch it now. It's certainly an out there experience. What's the saying now? If you weren't scared of this one, you're already dead. Wasn't that the tagline on it? If this one doesn't scare you, you're already dead. That's it.
Was that for the second one?
It's on the back of my copy.
Oh,
of
the first one. Oh, okay.
Yeah. Bradley says, Stan, we're all movie fans. We should stand together, surely. Peter says, maybe. Peter says, Cora, did you watch any more of the Vinegar Syndrome porn releases? I should watch Eat a Blue Fox with Ron Jeremy. Got one of those double featured DVDs. What a title of a film. Peter says, the movies he's making, you must mean the movies he's starring in. Cora, you're missing your porn chat, Peter. Dr. Impossible 3 says, Kill Bill 3, God help us.
Yeah. The second one ends with like a question mark, doesn't it? And,
that's true.
Daryl Hannah's character.
Pete says, Eastwood, yes. Tarantino's small parts in those films are generally annoying. Gary says, First Lethal Weapon is solid. Yeah, great film. It's at Christmas, isn't it? It's like a Christmas film.
Yeah.
Oh, the scene where he's trying to buy the Christmas trees. So good.
Yeah. Just give us a sec. Got to block them. Oh my days! As soon as you block one, they come back again. Right. Peter says Road Warrior. Yes, love that film. So good. Payback for me, still a solid Gibson film.
Good film.
Yeah. Gary says same here. Gary also says Passion of Christ is my favourite film Mel has directed. Carlos says Lethal Weapon 1 and 2 easily my favourite watch Mel Gibson movies. Braveheart and The Patriot are great, well-made movies. Apocalypto, yes, Mike, I agree. Totally surprised me on that one. I've heard good things from that.
Yeah. So I remember when that movie came out, I just had no interest in it at all. Like nothing jumped out at all at me. But I heard over the years just people saying how much they loved it, and it's great.
Yeah. Dr. Impossible says, good man, Andy. Lethal Weapon was solid, and the director is one of the most solid out there, all four. Sucks director Derek O'Connor died a while back. South African drug cartel 1 to 3 for me.
Yeah.
Peter says, I liked Apocalypto very much. Might not be historically correct, so on, but it didn't bother him. It's good. Gary says, my favourite scene in Lethal Weapon is Mel using the Barrett 50 cal sniper rifle in the desert. Yeah. Andy liked stuff. Me and 9 mates went to see Dust Till Dawn when it came out. Stoned and had a few in the pub, and it was definitely an experience back then. Have any of you got memories going to the cinema like that? No, I've been very well behaved.
I'm teetotal, so no, I don't.
Same here.
Yep.
No. It may be cheaper, but no, we do not approve. Edward says, is Doctor Strange 2 a better MCU multiverse movie than No Way Home? No.
It's just they didn't touch on it. That was that was the whole idea. They never, you know, we never explored it. We never went into it much, and it's sad because the trailer is one of them classic trailers where you think we're going to get more, but we didn't.
It's a bit misleading. The trailer is.
It's just not the batshit crazy movie you want it to be. It just isn't that at all.
The idea it was is like they were selling it like we were going to get these people popping up from different places, and I think that's what you were waiting for the whole time, for these random, you know, characters meeting and stuff. But I think that's the way Marvel is now at the moment as well. They're so protective of these characters that they don't want to just let them pop up and meet each other and do stuff. That's why I'm clamoring for a Howard the Duck remake. I was like, seriously. We got to bring Howard back into the universe, man. When he made these cameos, I was like so happy.
Yeah. But I think there was like half an hour or 45 minutes cut from Doctor Strange, so it really makes you wonder whether there could be a director's cut or extended cut they could release in cinemas again, like they're doing with No Way Home.
I hope so. I think as well, I feel for Raimi. I hope Raimi doesn't get... Because I love Sam Raimi. I think he's brilliant. But I just hope it doesn't tarnish his opportunities now. I know that the film's made a lot of money, but it has been critically, you know, knocked down a little bit. And as well as that, it was compared with that other multiverse movie.
Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Yeah, and like people are saying, like, I haven't seen that yet, but people are saying you need to see that movie when it comes to multiverse. They've just got it right.
Yeah, and that just launched at the perfect time. It was like a week or two after Doctor Strange.
Yeah, it was kind of like when I watched it, I was like, this is kind of like what I wanted Doctor Strange to be.
Yeah.
Because I just thought this is going with it in more interesting places than what Doctor Strange did.
Definitely.
Yeah, it's a shame that Doctor Strange turned out the way it was.
It was a missed opportunity. Doctor Strange was. Eastwood Carlos says, working out to Rocky IV in my old gym that I used to go to became the most played movie soundtrack and played album. So much I was actually getting fed up to it. Classic movie soundtrack. I agree. Yeah. Peter says, which is Andy's favourite season of 90s Spider-Man? I'm on season 3, I think now, watching this for the first time.
It's been a while since I've watched it. Like, it all sorts of run for me, but where the alien symbiote saga is really good when he gets the black costume, and he just goes insane when he's chasing Shocker, and he's like Shocker's like climbing up like this church tower, and he's just going absolutely bonkers after him. It's just so good.
Yeah. And Peter says he's going to dig out his Blu-ray heat and finally give it a watch. You're in for a treat.
Yeah.
Can't imagine watching that film for the first time.
Oh man, I'm jealous. I'm actually jealous. Like to experience that all again, man. It's amazing.
That was me a few weeks ago. Just bought it because I've heard so many people say what it's like. I watched it, loved it. 3 hours just go by so quickly.
Yeah. It's one of the quickest 3-hour movies you'll ever watch.
Yeah.
Absolutely. We've got Gary saying Batman 89 is a better superhero movie than anything Marvel has done. It's perfect straight out the comic book.
I do love Batman 89.
Yeah.
And especially the 4K restorations they done recently with all those Batman films. They look amazing. Really nice.
Yeah. So I remember when me and Mike went to, I think we watched Batman and Batman Returns back to back at the cinema. Yeah. And it was such a great experience. Like there was a Q&A with one of the actors as well, I think.
Yeah, he played like one of the henchmen or something.
Yeah, he played one of the henchmen.
Oh wow.
And it was such like that to me was like, right, I've seen every live action Batman film on the cinema now. The Burton Schumacher ones on the big screen, and I was like, I can die happy now.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. John Benson says, great conversation, gentlemen. Thanks ever so much, John.
Thanks, John.
Carla says, guys, you could do a Rambo movie stream, and Pete could walk into the room with the Rambo 3 hairdo, black vest with no nunchucks, acting badass. Oh my days! I'm gonna get messages now like, Pete, could you dress up as Rambo, please?
I'm just picturing Pete like doing that fight scene now at the beginning of Rambo 3.
Yeah.
I'm like the Poundland Rambo.
I'm picturing you on that fucking turret gun in Rambo 4.
Yeah.
Just looking absolutely turning everyone into mincemeat.
What? Yeah. Dr. Impossible says, like playing the Irish father in the American season of Ray Donovan. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, good TV show, man. Really good show.
Yeah. We've got Danny here from This Is My Life. Hi, Pete, and hi, everyone. Hope you're all well off to Brighton on Saturday. That's cool.
Yeah,
You
Danny.
have a good time, Danny. Got to put somebody in time out. Right. Oh, my days. There's like several different ones of them. Danny's reported the troll to YouTube. Thanks ever so much, Danny. Peter says, I will forever from now on be referring to De Niro and Pacino as De Niro and Pacino. Yeah. Danny says, dear troll and chat, I'll report you to YouTube. Please stop harassing. What? Yeah. No, thanks, Danny, but it's no point. Trolls don't listen. They're mostly just spamming away. Yeah. Kirsten says, yeah, that troll's annoying. I have blocked the person, but I think they'll come back again. Danny says, a quality YouTuber. Oh, thanks ever so much, Danny. And he agrees with Kirsten. And Carla says, Pete, can you do the best John Rambo line in his accent? Only kidding, Pete. Great weekly stream with you, Andy, Mike, and thumbs up to Mancave Movies. Take care. See you, Carlos. No Rambo impressions from me tonight. No. We've got Brett saying, my favourite Mel Gibson pictures are Payback, Bloodfather, Lethal Weapon 1, Braveheart, but I love Danny Glover in the Lethal Weapon. Riggs. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, he's so good in that.
Yeah.
Kirsten says, Gibson movies, I'd have to say Braveheart and Patriot. I love those movies. Fantastic picks. Eastwood, Carlos says, Alive, based on a true event, if I remember. Good movie. Take care, guys. Take care, Carlos.
Thanks, man.
Cheers, Carlos.
Viva Drew says, what non-MCU movie are you looking forward to seeing next year? John Wick 4, Indiana Jones 5, or Mission Impossible?
It's tricky. I'm scared about Indiana Jones.
Same.
I'm really scared. I love Harrison Ford. I love him. I think he's brilliant. But can he? I think it's just the physical aspect. Can he look good and can it look believable? I think that's my biggest question about it. I'm not ageist in any way, but just even in Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, you could see he was getting on a bit. I mean, the fact that he survived inside a fridge still gets me to this day.
Yeah.
But I think I'm more looking forward to Mission Impossible. Actually, I've really enjoyed the last couple. And Cruise, I don't know what it is, but Cruise has grown on me. It was never one of my favorites, but over the last few years now, man, he just picks his projects really well. So I'd probably say Mission Impossible.
Yeah. What about you, Andy?
Yeah, I'm the same. Indy 5 worries me so much because that trilogy, and yeah, it's a trilogy, it ended perfectly.
Yeah.
The ending to The Last Crusade is like nothing else happened after that moment. But yeah, Tom Cruise is just getting better and better, and what I love about him is he does all his own stunts pretty much.
Yeah.
He's just, there's no nonsense with the guy. He just fucking gets on with it and does it. And the Mission Impossible movies have just been getting better and better. and I hope it continues with 7 and 8.
Yeah.
So but I love John Wick as well. Fourth
yeah.
John Wick movie is exciting as well. So
yeah. Mike.
Yeah, I mean, I think of the three, like the Indiana Jones franchise is my favorite of those three. But like you guys, I'm a bit worried about the fifth one. I don't want it to be another Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. I'm looking forward to John Wick 4. I like the first two. I thought the third one was maybe a bit too much. So I'm kind of hoping they maybe scale it back down a little bit. But I think based on current form, it has to be Mission Impossible 7 because the last few sequels have just been really good.
Yeah, I agree. I think Indiana Jones 5 is a worrying prospect. I don't know what to make of it. We haven't seen nothing really much yet about some stills, but I'm just like, leave it. Just leave it alone. As fine as it was with the 3 films, we didn't need Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, and I don't think we really need this new one. But, well, I'll go and see it anyway when it comes out. Hopefully it'll live up to the hype. John Wick 4, looking forward to it, but it's just going to be another, as you buy the numbers, John Wick film, action over the top. But Mission Impossible, the most recent ones have been like near masterpieces of action adventure, Hollywood blockbusters. And if Mission Impossible 7 can do that, brilliant. Yeah, for me, it's Mission Impossible.
I think they've just got a lot more places to go with it. With Mission Impossible, with the character dynamics and stuff, there's been so many ups and downs with all them characters in the movies. I mean, I like them all. One of my favorites out of all of them is the third one with J.J. Abrams one, Philip Seymour Hoffman.
Yeah.
Is by. I really like the third one. The only one I didn't like out of all of them was the second one, the John Woo.
Yeah.
I just didn't like Doug Ray Scott as a baddie, and there was far too many classic John Woo flying pigeon scenes. It took me out the moment. So I just think with the Mission Impossible franchise, there's so much depth to the characters, and we've seen that over the last couple. How close it's come from certain people dying, or a lot of good stuff. And the bad guy, the last couple, that British actor who played the baddie in the last couple, he's a great actor. Really good.
Brilliant. Yeah, I agree. We've got Danny says, Spider-Man No Way Home lenticular steelbook, please. That'll probably happen, Danny. Dr. Impossible says, remember, gents, Alive wasn't the first film to show what happened in the Anders. A film called Survive from 1976 was made first about plane crash. Oh.
Interesting.
We have Richard here saying, hi all, what film in your collection do you think, if had a different soundtrack, would be loads better? For me, Legend with original score.
Yeah, I can agree with that. Because Legend's original score is really good.
Yeah.
But like, I think they only kept it in on like TV broadcasts of it. Like if you get the DVD or Blu-ray with it, it's just completely bland. Like it's not great at all. But yeah, I'd go with Legend. Yeah.
Chris?
I can't even think.
That's a hard question. I can't think of anything myself.
It's a really good question. One film that comes to mind for me, they did actually do a different score for it, but the original Dracula, the Bela Lugosi one, because I can't watch that original version of it because there's barely any music in it, and I find it a struggle. But they redid it. I think Philip Glass did like a new score for it in the 90s, and I find it so much more watchable. So I'd probably say something like Dracula, the original one.
Yeah, I'll probably have to say that as well, because I can honestly not think of anything.
Yeah.
What about you, Chris? No?
No, I can't even think. No.
No.
Nothing that really kind of changes it for me, to be honest.
We have Dr. Impossible saying ILM did the effects on Alive, and it's produced by Spielberg's producer, Frank Marshall. Cool. Person says, I agree, Radley. I love horror. Radley says, favourite movie genre, horror for me. Big Shot Bear, sci-fi close second. I'd probably say horror as well.
Horror for me.
Yeah, same.
Horror and action and sci-fi. Yeah.
Yep, good mix. Dr. Impossible says, right, Mike, name me a good, solid Peter Greenaway film.
To be honest, I had to Google him. So I'm not familiar with the name, and I don't think I've seen any of his movies. The only one that I recognize is The Cook, The Thief, His Wife, and Her Lover.
Oh, that's a great movie.
Yeah, yeah. But apart from that, I don't think I've seen any of the others.
It's Drowning by Numbers one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that film. Yeah. That's actually a pretty good movie.
Yeah,
Yeah, I haven't heard of any of these films. Andy like stuff says Jet Li, the one must be the best multiverse movie to date.
I really like that film with Jason Statham. I quite enjoyed it.
Yeah, I've heard that's quite good.
I know that the kid from the Goonies who's in this this Everything Everywhere movie, I think he did the stunts for Jet Li's The One.
Ah,
okay.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, because I think he had like a career where he was just like a stunt choreographer or something.
Soph says you'll have to dress as Poundland Rambo now, Pete. Haha.
Son of Rambo.
Son of Rambo, yeah. Yep.
Poundbo.
Oh. I'm just going to get loads of messages afterwards. When are you going to dress up as Rambo? We've got Joe here saying great live stream as always. Have just tuned in, been to see Jurassic World Dominion. Thought it was quite good. Glad to hear you enjoyed it, mate. Edward says, what's your thoughts on Neil Patrick Harris joining the Doctor Who cast as a part of the 60th anniversary?
I'm all for it. All for it, man. I think he's another one of them underrated character actors.
Yeah.
Like Lemony. I quite enjoyed the Lemony Snicket TV series, the way he kind of done it and stuff. But yeah, I quite like the idea of him playing. I think that the rumor is he's playing the toy maker. I think that's the rumor.
Some of the pictures are giving off that sort of vibes, aren't they? But I'm looking forward to it. He's been seen today, I think, in Bristol filming. Looks so good. David Tennant back. Oh, can't wait.
It's my doctor.
We've got Danny says, have any of you picked up the Batman movie yet? Are you getting the box editions? Yeah, Andy and Chris has picked up. Me and Mike still haven't picked ours up yet. Bumper says, favourite spoof movies? I like the first Wayne Brothers movie. I'm going to get you, sucker. I'm going to get you, you sucker. Spoof on 70s blaxploitation movies. Oh.
Mine's is Hot Shots and Hot Shots Part 2.
Yeah.
2 of them films.
It's a great Rambo sequel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to go with The Naked Gun.
The first one's fun. I do like the first one.
There's so many great lines in that movie.
Yeah.
I've been swimming in raw sewage. I love it.
Yeah.
So good.
What about you, Mike?
Yeah, I love the first Naked Gun, Airplane, and Scary Movie is just such a guilty pleasure as well. Yeah, the first Scary Movie.
Still need to see Airplane. Another one on the list.
Oh, great.
Danny says, I'm worried about Indiana Jones turning out to be like the new Matrix.
Well, I hope it is.
Yeah, you enjoyed it, didn't you, the new Matrix?
Yeah.
Dr. Impossible says, Andy, have you got a favourite John Sayles film? Bit of a test there, Andy.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to look this up.
I've never heard of the.
Oh, he was in the
before.
he was in the Howling.
Oh, really? Oh, that's
I
cool.
actually watched that a couple of days ago. I actually quite enjoyed the original Howling.
Yeah, I've heard it's good. I haven't seen it yet. It's one of the ones on my list again. Oh,
He's a writer and a director as well.
really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. There's a few. Matinee.
Matinee, oh, great film.
Yeah.
Good film.
Malcolm X.
Oh, great film.
There's one I really love, which hardly anyone's seen, called Passion Fish. I love that movie.
Never heard of it.
8 Men Out, Mate Wan, Something Wild.
Gridlocked. It's not a good one.
Yeah.
Tim Roth.
Apparently, he wrote the movie Lone Star. I love that film as well.
He wrote Lone Star. That's really good. I didn't know that.
Matthew McConaughey movie from
Yeah,
the
great
mid-90s. Love it. Yeah.
He wrote that Piranha movie.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Oh. Danny says, who does Pete remind you of TV as a famous actor or TV presenter? No, not Brad Pitt. Oh,
John Rambo.
oh, I'll take that. Yeah. Oh. Anybody else has got any ideas?
In the Battlestar Galactica, the newer series, there's a character called Baltar, and I do think he's quite similar. You look quite similar to him.
Do I? I'll have
Adam
to
Driver.
Google him afterwards. Yeah, so I do get that one a lot, Adam Driver.
I think if you had sunglasses, Pete, you'd make a good Tommy Wiseau.
Oh, hi, Mark.
Wow.
Yeah. I did not hit her.
I did not.
Bullshit.
The viewer Drew says, what do you think is the craziest stunt Tom Cruise has done in the Mission Impossible films? Well, didn't he hurt his knee or something, break his knee?
Yeah.
The sixth one, yeah. I'd have to go with when he's hanging off the plane.
Yeah,
100%. That's what I was going to say.
Yeah, that one was ridiculous.
Yeah. He always seems to do all these amazing stunts. There's this new one now where he jumps off the
ramp.
Yeah.
Danny says, I hope Indiana Jones isn't going down the same route what Transformers was when Megan Fox left it. It got worse. Danny, it got worse after the first one.
After the first one.
Shacking robots. That's a big no-no.
Michael Bay's humor is just atrocious. He must be the only person who finds himself funny.
Yeah.
It just doesn't work.
As an 11 or 12-year-old when that film... I was 13 when that came out. That was still cringy then. That was not funny. So whatever did he thought it was. But yeah.
I met the other day on my ship, the comedian that was on board was the guy that voiced the two little Transformers, John DeCrosta, his name is. He voiced them, and he still says to this day, he still gets quite a lot of residual checks from the movie and stuff when it's replayed. He said, but it's one of the kind of tarnishes on his resume.
Yeah.
Because when he goes to conventions, people don't want to know. I was like, no wonder they are the most annoying things.
Yeah, definitely. We've got Brett saying, what are you planning on watching next? The next picture I'll be putting on the box will be Eden Lake, great English horror. I watched the Blu-ray version. I've not seen the 91 minutes version before. Awesome.
I couldn't sit through that movie again.
Oh.
Gee whiz.
Harsh.
Oh.
I've got. I'm going to watch the Arrow Blu-ray. I just got it today. The Big Trouble in Little China.
Oh, brilliant film.
So I thought that'll be my next watch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Andy?
I don't know. The only thing I can really think of is what's coming out in the cinema.
Mm-hmm.
The movies coming out for me that I want to see are probably. I'm going to go and see Lightyear this weekend.
Yeah.
Next weekend, I'm going to go and try see Elvis.
Oh,
yeah.
I'm really looking forward to Nope. I just think it looks great. And probably after that, Thor. So there's a good lineup of films coming out over the next month. So yeah, that's probably me. But in terms of like Blu-ray and stuff, I just watch whatever I'm in the mood for. Like at the minute, I'm watching Dragon Ball Z, and the Blu-rays just look incredible.
Nice.
But yeah, it's whatever takes me fancy.
That's cool. Definitely.
Yeah.
Mike, what about you, Mike?
Yeah. I mean, I've got like a few things on my list, but I think the big one for me, I picked up Apocalypse Now on 4K the other day, so I'll probably watch that on like it's like a Friday, Saturday night kind of movie.
Nice.
I'm looking forward to watching that in 4K because I've heard it's meant to look great.
Oh, sounds good. For me, probably next film in the cinema would probably be Elvis. But for film watching at home, I'll probably end up watching Cobra at the weekend because I got the Stallone box set today and I really want to watch Cobra.
Yeah.
Great movie.
Yeah, it's fun film.
It's nice and short as well. It's only like 80 minutes long.
Yeah.
I was surprised by the runtime.
Yeah.
We've got Danny says they're cancelling Neighbours. If any of you are watching it.
No.
Nope.
I think I was at school the last time I watched Neighbours.
Yeah.
How many years has it been going? 30, 40 years? But nah, I haven't seen it since I was at school, Danny. So says Eden Lake makes me angry.
You and me both.
Dr. Impossible says, think Pete's too bloody skinny to play Rambo. You could play Rambo's team. Oh. Christian says, gotta run. Really enjoyed the conversation. Awesome stream. See you Saturday, Chris. Take care, everyone. Thanks ever so much for watching.
Cheers.
Watch your Soph. Soph saying hey to Brett. Brett saying he's okay. We have no, we do not want a cheap one of them. No, I do not want one of them. Why? I don't understand this. I always seem to get this. So that are they? Oh, my days. Soph says, I'm going to see Jason on Monday. Awesome. Had a nice time. Comments have gone all weird again. 20 more Tinder ones, whatever for. Soph says, we're going to see the Black Phone on Wednesday. Awesome. Radley says, I miss your favourite movie genres as my stupid PC crashed. One bad one downstairs, not the high-end one in the man cave. Nice to see you here, Chris. I've subbed to your channel. See you next week, guys. Take care.
Take care, man. Thank you.
Brett says, is Black Phone a horror? Yeah, it looks like a psychological horror film. Looks really good. Oh, gee, all these comments. The viewer Drew says to Danny, not sure if that'll happen with Indiana Jones because The Matrix as a franchise has got worse with each film. Granted, didn't see the new one, whereas Indiana Jones, all three are great. Yeah. I like how you put all three were great and didn't put four. Oh. Yeah, it's a new Ethan Hawke horror film. Danny says, is it the same people writing Indiana Jones? Haven't got a clue.
I don't think so.
Not sure.
Soph says, me and Pete reacted to the Happy Time Murders trailer. That was an experience. Oh, days.
God, that film.
Sophie's bought it. Soph's bought it. I don't know whether she's regretting it or not. The only thing I found funny of the trailer was the rotten cotton line. Dr. Impossible says, has Andy and Mike seen Gattaca?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a great film.
Yeah.
Stephen Hawke again, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, Uma Thurman's in it as well, isn't she?
Is it Jude Law as well?
Jude Law, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
I think it's on the premium, isn't it?
It is on the premium, yeah. And I think it's got a 4K release as well.
Yeah.
Andy says, what's your top 5 Bond films?
Diamonds Are Forever. Casino Royale, Skyfall, Live and Let Die, and License to Kill.
Ooh,
Just
very good
I'm a man. I love Dalton. I know he gets a lot of stick, but License to Kill for me was just one of those films. It was so unique for its time because it was just Bond in a different kind of light, you know. So and they tried to go a bit more dark. So License is up there. I think it's like my number 3, but those are my 5.
Yeah. What about you, Andy?
I'm probably going to have to say For Your Eyes Only, GoldenEye, Living Daylights, probably You Only Live Twice, and License to Kill. License to Kill is my all-time favorite James Bond film.
Brilliant.
Great film.
I just love it. It's the one that goes against the grain and it pays off.
Absolutely.
It's not about a mission. It's just about James Bond avenging Felix.
It's a more personal story for Bond, isn't it?
And the bad guy, Ricardo Monte, I forget his name.
Sanchez.
Robert
Davi Sanchez.
Oh, so good.
Very good.
So good in that film.
Yeah.
Like he could just be like this average drug dealer, but he's not.
Yeah.
He's just
so much more in that film. It's just so good.
Yeah.
And the ending with Felix's lighter.
Felix lighter.
Mike.
Yeah. Same. License to Kill is number 1 for me. I just absolutely adore it. One of the best action movies ever. So that's my number 1. From Russia with Love, On Her Majesty's Secret Service, Living Daylights, For Your Eyes Only, and GoldenEye is an honourable mention.
Awesome. Great picks. For me, Skyfall, License to Kill, Spy Who Loved Me, On Her Majesty's Secret Service, and I'm going to say Goldfinger. There's a good 10 solid Bond films that are quite hard to pick from. We've got Danny saying, if you got asked to be the next Doctor Who would you you take the job, or would you take the job, or would you take the choice of the Master?
I think you'd have a lot more fun playing the Master.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is true.
Your hands are tied.
Yeah. I think both roles would be fun, but I suppose with the Master, you'd have a bit more freedom, I suppose.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Danny says, I love Elvis. I might go to cinema on Friday, as it's been since Harry Potter Part 2 was the last time you went. Wow. To be fair, last year, seeing No Way Home, that was the first time I went to the cinema since Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban.
Wow.
So that was a long time ago. DVD from Filmbook says, hey, I just got back from the Thomas Crown Affair, the Piers Bronson remake, which was very good. Awesome.
It's a good movie. Yeah, Rennie Russo.
Yeah.
Danny says, how's your neighbours tonight, Pete? They're not cutting the grass? No, they're not, thankfully. My hay fever's playing up, so thankfully they're not doing it. DVD from Filmbook says, actually over the week, the only film I didn't watch on VHS was Hard to Kill, which was a very solid Seagal film. Yeah.
Good one.
Yeah. Dr. Impossible says, Pete, get yourself a copy of Fatal Instincts, the spoof of Basic Instinct, and an MGM paid a packet to Carla Pictures, who made Basic. Ooh. Well, if it's anything like Basic Instinct, Dr. Impossible, that's enough for me.
I completely forgot to include some Mel Brooks movies in that spoof list, like Young Frankenstein, Spaceballs. And I really love that Dracula movie as well, the Leslie Nielsen one. It's hilarious.
Yeah.
Dad loving it.
That's the one I thought was. Yeah.
I even like Robin Hood Men in Tights. Like, that's,
Yeah.
Yeah. I have seen that one before. That's quite fun. DVD film bloke says the only film I watched on tape was Hollow Man, Roxanne, which I had on VHS for years now, Bone Collector, Guinevere, and Stigmata.
Hollow Man's great. I love Hollow Man.
Yeah, another solid Kevin Bacon film. It says, found the Heat Blu-ray, also searching for it, realised how many great films I've picked up on Blu-ray and still not watched. I tend to forget about all the non-boutique Blu-rays. They should count too. Yeah, absolutely. Yes. Oh my days. These troll comments keep popping up. The sooner I've deleted them, they come back up. Surf says, I bought it for Jason. He has not seen it, but I have. He wants us to watch it together. That's awesome. DVD from Filmblock says, I've not been home for the past week or two, so God only knows when I do my massive collection update. Wow, I'll be looking forward to your video, mate. Pete says, oh, and you guys should all call up Brian and tell him how much you care about him. Andy says, wow, they were totally random 5 Bond films. Bravo. DVD for what says, plus I let out a DVD and Blu-ray months ago and still not got them back, so I can't do an updated DVD and Blu-ray collection. I really should chase them up on it. Yeah. Definitely. Danny says, top 5 Bonds are Goldfinger, Live and Let Die, Octopussy, Quantum of Solace, and Moonraker. Okay. There it is. DVD from Filmbloke says, actually, I've looked at my channel and I'm shocked to see I haven't uploaded in 3 months. Family shit and cleaning those tapes is the reason I haven't been posting. No worry, mate. No worry, mate. The viewer Drew says, did you guys hear about a rumour about the 6th Bourne movie happening and thoughts on the entire Bourne franchise? Do we really need another one? 3 was enough. I think they tried to bring it back with Jason Bourne, and again, that didn't work. The first 3 worked as well because you cared for his character or like what's going on with his character, but Jason Bourne was a waste of time. Just leave the franchise alone. I know they did a TV show called Treadstone, but apparently that wasn't very good as well. But yeah, it's a franchise that should be left in the past. What do you guys think?
Yeah. I've said it before. It is what it is. It's an action franchise that just doesn't do much, in my opinion, to stand out.
No.
Yeah, it is what it is.
I agree.
Yeah. Danny says, if you had a choice to make a movie, what would it be? Any genre?
Horror.
Yeah.
Love to do a horror.
Sort of horror. Yeah, that'd be cool. Andy?
Yeah, probably horror. Yeah. Don't know why though.
And Mike?
Yeah, horror. Yeah.
Yeah. Dr. Impossible says, have any of you guys seen a thriller called Visiting Hours with William Shatner and Michael Ironside, semi-slasher film?
No, but it sounds good.
I've heard of it.
Yeah. It sounds like something that would happen in an old folks' home now. Visiting Hours with William Shatner and Michael Ironside.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh. Right, I'm moving into the living room now. Edward says, what's your thoughts on Roald Dahl, the Matilda the musical, and what's your thoughts on Emma Thompson as Miss Trunchbull? I did actually watch the trailer before coming live. It looks all right, I suppose.
There's only one Miss Trunchbull, and it's the one from the movie. Like,
yeah.
She just can't. She can't be beat. Is it
Pam Ferris.
Pam Ferris.
Yeah.
So
Nightmare
good.
Fuel.
Yeah.
But I think this one's supposed to be based on like the stage play that Tim Minchin did.
One. Yeah, the musical's quite good. I've seen it before. It's pretty good. So I think that it's a bit more grounded. And I saw the trailer tonight. So yeah, it should be good. Emma Thompson's pretty good in everything she does. So
yeah,
I think it'll be pretty good.
Yeah, it should be okay. Danny says, I'm picking up The Known in Poundland on Blu-ray. Any good? The Known.
Is that the Nick Cage movie?
Nick Cage, Holy movie. It's like a Jesus movie. Yeah, it's not one of my favorites.
I didn't mind it, but the ending kind of went a bit too far in the ending.
Yeah.
We've got Peter saying, Dr. Impossible, I've been looking to get the final cut release of Visiting Hours. I love Michael Ironside. He is a great actor.
Yeah.
There's just so many movies I've seen him in where he's either lost an arm or loses an arm.
Yeah.
That's true. Yeah.
Just always seems to be the case with him.
Scanners is my favorite, man. Scanners.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Peter says, have not seen Visiting Hours yet, but need to get it. Peter says, I think Matt Damon's finest hour was in Team America World Police. I think I agree as well there, Peter. Matt Damon. The viewer Drew says the Bourne Legacy with Jeremy Renner wasn't too bad in my opinion. I wasn't that
It was
keen.
all right.
Yeah. I think what did it a disservice was it played alongside the Bourne Ultimatum, and it kind of just made me want to watch that film as well. More, to be fair. Seth says, that film was a masterpiece. Dr. Impossible says, always a bit of a Michael Ironside fan. Thought 60% of his back cat was average or shit. He still plays a great villain.
He's great as Darkseid in the Justice League show.
And he was the voice of Sam Fisher.
Yeah,
I was going to say Splinter Cell.
Splinter Cell, which was awesome.
Yeah. And then they replaced him in one of the games.
Oh,
and
terrible!
like,
Blacklist. They replaced him in Blacklist, and it was terrible.
It just didn't feel like the same character, the same game.
No, it didn't.
Yeah.
And we haven't seen the series since.
No, there was something about breaking someone's neck and just his dulcet tones that just kind of complemented it.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. Sorely missed. We've got Danny saying, have you seen William Shatner in Shit My Dad TV series?
Sounds like a farce. The fact that Shatner is in a TV show called Shit My Dad Says.
I always remember that William Shatner joke where it's like, oh, did you hear William Shatner married Stevie Nicks and she's called Stevie Shatner Nicks?
Brilliant. Peter says, so Team America, yes, it's a wonderful. I love the theme too. America, fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Richard says, my son is an actor. It's really awesome to have Blu-rays in my collection with him in. Oh, that's
nice.
Great.
Awesome.
What sort of films has he been in, Richard? We have Edward saying, is Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness linked to Spider-Man No Way Home?
I would say no.
No.
The way Spider-Man No Way Home ends, without spoiling it, this just sort of picks up pretty much straight after, but nothing really connects.
No. Yeah. It's not really any reference to No Way Home in that film. And Viewer Drew says, have you guys seen Top Gun Maverick? And if so, what's your thoughts?
It's fucking awesome.
Yeah, I've heard great things. I haven't seen it yet. I'm looking forward to watching it.
Yeah.
It's great.
I haven't seen it yet, but I want to see it. You seen it, Mike?
No, I've seen it yet.
Yeah. Can't wait until it comes out on physical. Be getting that day one.
Yeah, 4K for me, day one.
I can imagine the 4K with a Dolby Atmos soundtrack.
Oh.
Yeah. Dr. Impossible says, License to Kill, but The Spy Who Loved Me is probably the best. Roger Moore, Alton, absolutely. Christopher Fry, who adapted it, produced a great script and close to the book. Moore was darker and unpredictable.
Yeah.
He was definitely,
I'd say he was darker in some of his later movies, like Your Eyes Only. Yeah.
Yeah, the bit where he kicks the car off the cliff, he didn't like that. Didn't like that scene, did he?
No.
No.
But I think his like on-screen presence with Barbara Bratch in the film, I thought that was good.
Yeah.
It's creepy that bit where they're in. Is it Cairo and they're walking around, they're being followed by Jaws.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is quite creepy.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and then we have View to a Kill where he's with somebody who's older.
Yeah.
View to a Kill's awesome.
It is fun.
I love View to a Kill.
Yeah.
Best bomb theme.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. Peter says, don't slag Ironside's back catalogue, Starship Troopers, Watchers, Total Recall, Scanners, and so many other great ones. Probably lots more I haven't seen. He was in Top Gun as well, weren't he?
Yeah, man. Top Gun, yeah.
Yeah.
He's in Nobody as well.
Yes, he is.
Yeah. Oh God, yeah, he is. Yeah.
He's the neighbour, isn't he?
Mm-hmm.
No, he's the boss.
Boss guy.
He's the boss, is he?
Yeah, he's the
Oh,
boss.
is he?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. Oh.
Yeah.
DVD for Fun Bloke says License to Kill and Golden Eye for me. Yep.
Yeah.
And also Golden Eye the game. Fantastic.
Oh,
Classic
yeah.
game.
Yeah.
Danny says, never watched Top Gun. Have I missed out? Yeah.
The first movie is okay. It's not a great movie. I think it's all right. It's very much of the time. But this new movie is like, wow, this is what I wanted Top Gun, the first movie, to be. Yeah.
If you like your 80s cheesy movies, then you might like it, Danny. But
soundtrack's awesome. Soundtrack's awesome.
Oh, soundtrack's great.
Oh, yeah.
I fucking love that Berlin song.
Yeah, man.
Oh, yeah. DVD Film Bloke says, wow, the first Top Gun is shite.
Yeah, I can see where you're coming from.
Yeah. David Beach says, Mel Gibson named 5 movies. He's not good either.
Expendables 3.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Not that he's not good in it. It's just not a good movie.
Yeah. I think the first one was probably the only good Expendables film.
What Women Want.
Yeah, I was just thinking about that. Yeah.
I can't think of anything else. He's been in some animated ones, hasn't he? Some animated kids.
Chicken Run.
Sure.
Chicken Run's. Yeah.
I quite like Chicken Run.
Yeah, Chicken Run's all
Chicken
right.
Run's good. Yeah. I can't think of any, to be fair.
No,
was Tequila Sunrise any good? That's one I've got.
Yeah, I wasn't that big on it, to be honest.
I
was expecting more, just with the cast and
I wasn't a big fan of Bird on a Wire. Thought that was a bit.
Yeah.
Oh. Right. Oh no, not more of this sex chat. Stop it with the sex chat, please. Dr. Impossible says, I'm not slagging off for his back catalogue, Stan. I said 60% is average, but he's done some fairly decent mainstream stuff, including the miniseries. Oh. I do like V. Surf says Top Gun was just cringe. Yeah, I know you and Jason wasn't a fan of it. It certainly didn't take your breath away.
Definitely give the second one a go, though.
There is a Top Gun game, yes, Danny. It's shit. DVD Public says he's a great actor. Shame he's such a twat in real life.
Is this still Ironside?
I think this is Mel Gibson.
Mel Gibson.
Mel Gibson.
Yeah, Mel Gibson. Peter says, saying 60% of his films he's in average is definitely staggering, man. Shame on you, now go sit in the corner.
He's in X-Men First Class as well, isn't he?
Yes, he is.
Yeah.
Dr. Impossible says, so it didn't take your breath away, so better watch Hot Shots and Dead Meat. Here we go. DVD Film Blitz says, Danny, the only thing about that game is it's impossible to land that goddamn strip. Yep. Right. I will have to look out for Hot Shots. So you should see Hot Shots and Hot Shots 2. I need to see it as well. I've heard it's really good.
I actually prefer the second one.
The second one's much. I think it's a lot funnier.
Yeah.
Oh,
Charlie
Cool.
Sheen and Martin Sheen scene is the best.
Yeah.
I love you on Wall Street.
oh my days.
I love how they actually got the Colonel from Rambo. In it.
Yeah.
Just the same actor.
Oh really?
It's got
That's cool.
Rowan Atkinson in it as well.
Yeah.
Oh wow. It sounds like a great film. I'll have to give it a go. DVD film that says I got Ransom on VHS from Garage, which I'll probably watch before the next stream. Awesome. Danny says I'm not played Top Gun, but I'm going for the full 360 set. Oh, there was like some old ones back in the day on like the Atari or something as well, and there was a recent one not too long ago. DVD even film that says actually cannot stand either Hot Shot films.
Okay.
Dr. Impossible says Hot Shots is the vaccine to the over love for Top Gun. Peter says Hot Shots is awesome. I love the part where Charlie Sheen rides a motorbike and the psychiatrist rides a horse. Oh wow.
That is a good scene.
Edward says rank all the Jurassic Park movies worst to best.
I'd probably just rank them in release order for me. That's probably not my best to worst.
I would say the same as well. Yeah.
I'd swap the last two for me, but yeah.
I agree. What's this now? We have got. I have Hot Fuzz on HD DVD. I see hordes of them in the charity shops, and they keep thinking that they're Blu-rays. I keep trying to tell them, not Blu-rays, and they're like, "It is. It's HD."
I was after a film in CEX, and I looked online, and it said it was in my store. So I went to go and get it, and when I went, it was a fucking HD DVD or HD Blu-ray or whatever they were. You know, in the red cases.
Yeah.
I was like, that's not a Blu-ray, so yeah, couldn't buy it.
HD DVD player. Oh my days. Peter says I refuse to rank Jurassic Park. However, I'm a sucker for Bryce Dallas Howard. Ooh. Right. DVD and Film Bloke says I find it hard to believe Hot Shots was done by a team who did Airplane and Naked Gun. Given how half-assed the jokes are, I don't know if Hot Shots 2 is any better.
I think the second one's better.
Yeah, I'd say 2's better.
Stupid for running in hills. So I've said. We have the Viva Drew saying, which movie studio do you think has the best movies? Warner Brothers, 20th Century Studios, Universal, or Sony?
I'm going to say Warner Brothers for me. Just for a lot of the DC stuff and things.
Yeah. I'm going to go with Warner Brothers as well. They've got quite a good range of all sorts, to be fair.
I'd probably say Warner Brothers as well. Although I'd say Sony do the best, like Blu-rays and 4Ks. For
That
sure.
is true. Yeah.
Warner Brothers and Universal for me, I think. Universal's got like some of my favorite movies, like Breakfast Club and American Pie.
Yeah.
Jurassic Park as well. But Warner Brothers churns out some classic stuff.
Yeah. Danny says, Sophie, yes, I do have player movies. They're hard to get. Wow. Peter says, don't be jealous just because Bryce Howard is so much better running in high heels than you are. She says she won't wear high heels because she'll be taller than Jason. DVD for film that says, I believe the Warner Brothers HD DVDs are prone to disc rot. Wow. We have Brett saying, what's everyone's favourite horror franchise? Mine's Night of the Demon. It's a quadrilogy. You have 88, 94, 97, 2009. I think we did talk about this earlier in the stream, didn't we?
Yeah.
Yeah, we said like Nightmare on Elm Street, and like you said Phantasm, didn't you, Mike?
Yeah.
DVD from Film Block agrees, saying Universal and Warner Brothers. Peter says Hot Shots is better than Hot Shots 2, but I should rewatch 2. Where's Brad Pitt tonight? What you mean, Ryan? Honestly, don't know where he is. Dr. Impossible says, did you guys ever see Strictly Ballroom? I thought I'd lower the tone with a BAFTA-winning Australian film about ballroom dancing.
It's probably my favourite Baz Luhrmann film.
Yeah, it's a good movie.
Yeah.
Good for his time.
Never seen it. I thought he was talking about Strictly Come Dancing for a minute. Edward says it looks like Best Buy in America is going to get rid of their physical media. Seems to be a thing everywhere now. So push for online, I think. It's like here with the supermarkets.
Yeah.
It's gone.
Peter says, Self, I'm probably taller than Jason too then, and that's without heels. Self says, everyone is taller than him, bless him. Ryan's put out a video a few hours ago. Oh, that's cool. That's cool. I'll have to check it out. But yeah, that is the final comment of the night. So yeah, I think we'll finish it up now. It's been 3.5 hours. Oh, I'm sorry if I've been a bit quiet tonight. I've been feeling like death with this hay fever. I've got a split in the Oh, but hopefully I'll be all right next week. But I'd like to thank Chris for joining us tonight. It's been an absolute pleasure talking to you.
Pleasure, gentlemen.
Yep. If you're not subscribed to him already, go check out his channel at Mancave Movies. We have a couple of more comments. DVD from Films like saying good night. Dr. Impossible says John Barry lost interest in scoring Bond films after his experience with Aha. He loved working with Duran Duran though. Awesome. And the final one is Peter saying I pretty much hate all music, all films about dancing. What about Dirty Dancing, Peter? You must really love Dirty Dancing.
Or Showgirls.
Yeah.
Striptease.
He probably might like that one, Anne. Yep, he definitely will do. And we've got Brett saying take care, stay safe. You too, mate. But yeah, thanks ever so much for joining, Chris. And as always, thanks ever so much, Andy and Mike, for joining as well.
No worries.
We've got Danny saying no. Oh, thanks everybody watching at home. I hope you all enjoyed it. We'll be back again this time next week. Where our special guest will be Carlini09. So see you all and have a great weekend. Bye.
See you guys.